If I knew then.
They don't talk about us, only when there's a crime. Would you believe me if I was to tell you that in this world, with or without money, we're all rich, even the poor? The problem is those that say that I'm reaching out to give a hand and stay they leeching hands is itching, ready to see you listen. Well, thinking what to write, something inside me told me I can freestyle or I can rap. I can go with a rhythm that can make you dance. Tell you what I see on a daily, tell you everything's okay just to avoid dilemma. Or I can simply bring you something positive to the table and warn you of the ongoing problems that we're having. Instead, I have to reach out to my conscience once again as I watch the crime and the violence rise and the kids lose their innocence. Now the concept of forming a home day by day loses its essence. They don't want to hear that. Can't keep my arms crossed in front of the system. If I don't do something, I'm also part of the problem. As guilty as the one that pulls the trigger, like the person in the crowd that hits the record button on their phone to expose a lie instead of the truth for clout. They need 1,000 views. The government doesn't have a solution. The problem started when we took God out the equation. The problem ain't us celebrating. The problem is that we a nation divided when we should be a nation united and praying. That's how we live today. When problems occur, we come up with a meaning. Laugh a little, move on with no care in the world, as if it ain't even a thing in this world. If it's like this today, I don't want to see the future. Because nowadays, they'll make a meme out of a person that can't even see the day of light no more. What makes you think they care? They can't even break bread at the table. I don't know how you want to be rappers and lyricists can go on with life, living on an illusion of nothing good to write. Talking about killing someone, selling drugs with pride, until the scripts are flipped and it's someone you love dies. Right? This ain't solved by activating the National Guards and going behind bars. This is deeper, this is me and you. And they say as time passes by, we'll heal everything. Shit, you know these scars? I seen time flash by and everything. Leaving me on standby, ready to kill everything. Alone in the mirror looking at myself, say, girl, you're everything. You don't need for anything, shorty. So unless you walk a mile in my shoes, don't say anything. Just take a minute and listen so you can consume everything. Me and you are not the same, so make sure you look both ways when you cross me, and that's on everything. You got motherfuckers talking about that they want to make a change, they want to make a difference, but still stuck in the same phase. You got motherfuckers talking about that they want to chase a bag, but stay at home and nag. Then when you ask them what they need, they say less talking, more opinions, no prayers with division. You ask me, y'all need to focus more on revision, rely less on television. How you want a future you have no vision? This world is just like fiction. What we need is more talking, less opinions, more prayers with no division. Before you come up with a conclusion, giving people false illusions, pick up a book, do your research, learn your history before you end up in a ditch making history. Division and religion isn't working. The only way to show God our faith and love is through our actions. Our convictions is the only thing that really unite us. One God, one nation, different beliefs. There's words that can't fly with the wind. There's insults that are not violent. Meanwhile, while you're home to them, they're killing you on the inside. If I was to tell you that I didn't hurt, I would be lying. Would you believe me if I was to tell you that there's truths that lie, especially when they're telling you that they're indifferent? Getting shoved to the side because you're different. There's a hug out there someone didn't receive today. Probably because of what was said about them yesterday. Probably because of the way they was dressed today. Not realizing that the one that they hate could be the one that saves their day. But you know what? Thanks to them, it's another day in history where you get to flip the pages to your book and speak your story. And Lord, it's unholy. But you know what hurts the most? As I walk down the street and I see how easily we're divided. When we all should be united. One body, one mind, one soul, a million talents. Lord, without you, we're all divided. Forgive them, Lord, for they don't know any better. They don't know that there's someone out there that loves them. Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble day. Continue to have a blessed and humble night. This y'all shorty Racheal. I want to welcome all of y'all to the Writers for Life brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast. Hey, let's talk about it, right? Y'all know when it comes to the podcast, we talk about it all, right? So today we're going to be talking about Luigi Mangione. I can't even say his last name, so I do apologize if I'm saying his name wrong. But I appreciate everybody that comes through, right? We're going to be talking about him, his Copycat, and about Project Bluebeam. All right? It's a random topics and random thoughts, right? Y'all more than welcome to come up, hit the letter shorty to know y'all want me to drop the link and much more. Listen, man, I appreciate everybody comes here, has conversations with a shorty. Let's see what's going on with this Luigi Mangione case. Mangolini, I can't even say his name. All right. So we got some updates on him. Let's make sure we go straight to YouTube, all right? Because I need to go to premium real quick. To my premium account.
Breaking news and new charges just filed against Luigi Mangione, the suspect charged for the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and the NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch now taking the podium. Let's listen.
All right, it's so much going around when it comes to this man's case, right? We talked about it a little bit the last time, it got brought to my attention. I feel as though, like, all right, he's guilty. Y'all know that he's guilty, right? If y'all know that he's guilty, I'm a little confused on how y'all could point somebody out, right, with just the eyebrows. Like, I don't know how the lady from this McDonald's that, snitched on him, what was it? Something Parker. I forgot her name, Nicole Parker, Nancy Parker, something like that, right? Listen, don't give me the lie. I can't even remember who was the lady that called in, right? How could she even tell if that was him? With so many people that got the same, type of eyebrows, same type of, eyes and stuff like that, with a whole mask on. Like, how do they know? I mean, they say that the gun is the same gun. I mean, they say they got evidence that that's him. Ay. Now we got a whole copycat. Let's see what's going on, right? So now it seems that he's being charged with terrorism. I don't know how it's terrorism, right? When he ended up unaliving one person. It's not like he went on a spree and started killing people and stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess.
Commissioner Jessica Tisch, first and foremost, I want to extend my deepest condolences to Mr. Thompson's loved ones and colleagues. His family deserves our respect as they continue to grieve. Our work will never be able to undo the fact that a life was lost. We are here to announce that Luigi Mangione, defendant, is charged with one count of murder in the first degree and 2 counts of murder in the second degree, including 1 count of murder in the second degree as an act of terrorism for the brazen, targeted, and premeditated shooting of Brian Thompson, who, as you know, was the CEO of United Healthcare. This case was made possible by the collaborative efforts of the phenomenal public servants you see before you today, and so many others who are not here. I'm honored to lead the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and privileged to serve alongside Assistant District Attorneys Joel Seidman, Kristen Bailey, and Zachary Kaplan, who were working from the outset, hand in hand with the greatest police department in the world. The chief of our trial division, Lisa Del Pizzo, and the deputy chief, Chris Prevost, provided sage oversight and direction. And I want to acknowledge our high technology analysis unit. There was a lot to be processed here. Steve Moran, in particular, who heads that, and Mark.
Why is he thinking the high tech unit? Because, I mean, the bull was snitched on. What does their technology got to do with anything? It's not like their technology, uncovered who the person under the mask really was. It was that somebody snitched, made a call. Well, we think that this person right here sitting down eating at a restaurant is the person that is all over the news. It wasn't a camera who, said, oh, well, this is the person. No, not y'all technology, not this time. It was the person who sat here thinking that she was going to get $60K and never got it.
Marco Popic. We are privileged here at the DA's office to work every day with the phenomenal public servants at the NYPD. It has been a distinct pleasure to work besides Commissioner Tisch, an exemplary partner, and Chief of Detectives Joseph Kinney, almost every day we're in touch, and his leadership is second to none. And then Deputy Commissioner Rebecca Weiner, who, as I tell her, there are a lot of challenging things happening in the world, and I sleep better at night knowing that she is the Deputy Commissioner in charge of terrorism. The detectives on this, out doing the courageous frontline work, Detective Oscar Diaz, Detective Curcio, exemplary, the finest. It wasn't just those of us here in New York. I want to acknowledge the great work of our partners in Altoona, the Altoona Police Department, the Blair County District Attorney's Office, the governors of New York and Pennsylvania, the FBI, and of course, the brave members of the public who answered the call when our great commissioner put out the call for their assistance. This was a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder that was intended to cause shock and attention and intimidation. It occurred in one of the most bustling parts of our city, threatening the safety of local residents and tourists alike, commuters and business people just starting out on their day. Let me say a bit more about the charges. They include 1 count of murder in the first degree as a killing in furtherance of terrorism.
Oh, wow.
2 counts of murder in the second degree.
Man, he got himself
1
deep into this.
charging that the killing was done as an act of terrorism, and the second pertaining to the fact that the killing was intentional. The maximum penalty possible for murder in the first degree and murder in the second degree as an act of terrorism is life without parole. The maximum penalty for murder in the second degree is 25 years to life. There are additional counts as well. A number of criminal possession of weapon charges, 2 counts in the second degree, 4 counts in the third degree, 1 count in the fourth degree, and a count.
I just have one question. Did the 3D printed gun that they find in his house, right? Not in his possession, at his house, match the gun? Did the ballistics in that gun match the ballistics in the CEO's body? I mean, I'm just asking.
Count of criminal possession of a forged instrument in the second degree. Let me tell you a bit about the facts. On November 24th, we allege that the defendant arrived in New York City to murder Brian Thompson. After the defendant arrived in New York City on a bus at Port Authority, he checked into the hostel on the Upper West Side using the name Mark Rosario with a fake New Jersey ID. On the morning of December 4th, the defendant left the hostel, just after 5:30 a.m. and traveled to Midtown. For nearly an hour, we allege the defendant waited in the area near the Hilton Hotel, waiting for Mr. Thompson to appear. From 6:38 a.m. to 6:44 a.m., the defendant stood across from the entrance of the hotel on West 54th Street. When he saw Mr. Thompson, he crossed the street and approached him from behind. We allege he then took out a 9mm 3D printed ghost gun, equipped with a 3D printed suppressor, and shot him once in the back and once in the leg. The defendant then fled northeast on 54th Street and took an e-bike uptown before getting into a taxi that took him to West 178th Street and Amsterdam Avenue. On December 9th, the defendant was spotted at McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. The local police were notified, he was arrested, and he was found with a 9mm handgun, a suppressor, 2 ammunition magazines, and the same fake New Jersey ID he used at the hostel. I want to say a word about ghost guns. These weapons are increasingly proliferating throughout New York City and the entire country. Involving technology will only make this problem worse. Last year, over 80 ghost guns and ghost gun parts were recovered in Manhattan.
So basically, his 3D printed gun is a ghost gun. I mean, listen, I'm not understanding this. Now he's saying that it's in his possession when at first they were saying that they found it in the house. I don't even think that they found the book bag on him. They say at first they were saying that they thought that he left the book bag behind, along with some Monopoly money. And I think Monopoly get out of free jail card or some shit like that, if I'm not mistaken. See, this is what I don't like about the media, right? Different sources give you different things. Like they say different things when it comes to these cases like this, right? And it's like, who do you believe? I don't really trust the media. Like, he's guilty. We get that. Why is y'all so pressed on this? Have y'all found the man that y'all still having a manhunt for here in Philadelphia? And I think there's another manhunt somewhere else. I forgot where it was. There's another city where they're having another manhunt. But y'all focus still on this and y'all found him. And it's not like y'all cameras was tracking him, right? And then boom, okay, they found the location. Oh yeah, we saw him. We were following him through the cameras, right? And he sat here at this McDonald's, and then we was able to raid the McDonald's and get him. No. It was just that this lady thought she was going to get some bread. She made that call. She dialed 911 instead of calling the hotline. But my thing is, do people ever write? I've been hearing a lot of people say, right? Do people ever get them rewards? Like, happening, like these people that made the calls, right? It's this lady that made that call, right? She never got her reward. My thing is, right, whether you dial 911 or you call that hotline number, right? That person still called in. Why can't they get the reward? Has anybody, I'm starting to ask the same question a lot of people are asking. Has anybody ever really won these rewards when they call in and snitch on people? Mm-hmm.
Manhattan alone, the NYPD and the Manhattan DA's office have been leading in the interdiction of these ghost guns. And one thing I want to make clear, they're unserialized, they can be printed out, but as this case tragically makes clear, they are just as deadly as traditional firearms. This will remain a priority for us here in Manhattan. Finally, I know there have been questions about the extradition process. The latest that I can offer you is that the defendant is currently scheduled to appear in court in Pennsylvania on Thursday morning, first for a preliminary hearing on his Pennsylvania charges. Immediately to follow that will be an extradition hearing.
Wait, so if he was found in Pennsylvania, why is this being held in Manhattan? Why are you in Manhattan doing this whole update? You should be in Pennsylvania doing this.
We have indications that the defendant may waive that hearing, in which case he'd brought to New York forthwith. In any event, we have been preparing on parallel paths, and before the hearing, we'll send to the governor of the state of New York the paperwork that would be necessary if he does not waive during that hearing. I now want to turn over to our great commissioner, and when I do so, I wanted to thank her for her partnership, not only on this matter, but on all we do every day together. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. The unsealing of today's indictment brings us one step closer to securing justice for Brian Thompson and his family and affirming the primacy of the rule of law in the city of New York. NYPD detectives worked tirelessly to piece this case together. And along the way, the Manhattan DA's office made sure we had every legal tool available to us. Whether quickly providing subpoenas to assist with our evidence collection or traveling with us to Altoona, Pennsylvania last week after the apprehension, our partnership made this a successful investigation.
Oh, it did?
So I'd like to thank District Attorney Bragg and his team for their work in bringing this case forward. Part of that work included the relentless collection and analysis of surveillance video by our detectives, which ultimately produced a clear image of our suspect. That image was shared far and wide through the media, and thanks to an observant McDonald's customer and the employee who alerted the police, Mr. Mangione was quickly brought into custody. This outcome is why we always emphasize the critical role of the public in our public safety mission. So again, I want to thank everyone who saw something, said something, and did something. That is why we have a suspect in custody today. As DA Bragg said, Luigi Mangione is now formally charged and indicted for murder. And let me be perfectly clear.
Well, ma'am, let me be perfectly clear with you. Allegedly, y'all caught the man because one person at a McDonald's snitched on him. Which brought, a lot of bad credit to the McDonald's. And now this person is like America's most hated now because she, turned in Luigi Mangione, however you say his name, right? Here's my thing. So whenever a premeditated murder happens, right, in our communities, are y'all going to be this pressed, right, on finding the killer, right, that unalive somebody in our community that doesn't have that much money as this CEO? You want to know why I'm not that pressed on the CEO? Because he filled his pockets, right? He filled his pockets off the lives of other people's. You know how many deaths are on his hands? But on Luigi Mangone's is only one. But he's got thousands of deaths, right? And he made money off of scheming and scamming these families, telling them that they was going to be all right. You know what's crazy? They had the money to pay for this insurance to get the medical services that they were supposed to get. And these insurances company did them dirty. So imagine what the people that don't have money and they have to depend on insurance companies, right, for their medical services, like, out here. Imagine the bullshit they got to go through. And their services are free. So, yeah, it's like, I don't feel bad for the bull. I feel bad for his family, right? But what happened to him was going to happen sooner or later, right? I'm just being bold, upfront, raw, and uncut with this right now. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but there's so many, serial killers out here on the run, so many serial murderers on the run, and y'all focused on one man that had one simple goal: get rid of this one, not thinking that, he was going to get replaced, and probably someone worse than this one is going to take the chair down, right? Because there's a lot of CEOs, so a lot of these insurance companies that do the same shit, right? And I think, what's crazy is, right, I said it the last time, Luigi Mangione started some shit. He started a whole chain. And look, boom, it turns out that allegedly we got a copycat, which we will be reacting to after this. Like, damn, and then a mom at that. Like, lady, why is you sitting here doing this? Like, this world is crazy, yo.
In the nearly 2 weeks since Mr. Thompson's killing, we have seen a shocking and appalling celebration of cold-blooded murder. Social media has erupted with praise for this cowardly attack. People ghoulishly plastered posters threatening the other CEOs with an X over Mr. Thompson's picture,
started a chain,
as though he was some sort of a sick trophy. And yesterday, the New York Post reported that some extreme activists were circulating a deck of cards with other most wanted CEOs to be targeted for assassination.
Oh,
these are the threats.
Damn, that's crazy, man. Listen, I don't know what he was thinking. He did start a crazy chain. I think there was he could have went about this a whole nother way, for real, because the way he just went about it, I mean, listen, I think I feel as though that this is about to turn into some cult type thing. I don't know if y'all understand. Please don't let it go over y'all heads, right? I'm just trying to say things so well as in they don't strike my live, right? I feel as though this is about to turn into that. Like, we already got a mom copycat that, sat here and tried to do the same thing. Crazy part about it, right? All these CEOs of these companies, right? Y'all sitting here complaining and talking shit. The question y'all should be asking yourselves is, right, what can y'all do, right, so that things like this don't happen again? How can y'all better y'all services for y'all clients? That should be the questions right now. Y'all should be bettering y'all services, not sitting like, really, this shit. Let's continue. Man, guys, shorty, listen, we're going to be talking about the Blue Beam Project in a little bit, and I don't normally do this. But hey, look, share this live, right? If y'all can. I really do appreciate that. Yo, smash that like button for a shorty if y'all can, man. Y'all going to hear me say this a lot. And the last time I said this, right, they ended up striking my live, and I couldn't recover that one. So listen, man, over here we pull the risky moves, right? We talk about topics that people don't want to talk about, and you know, we say things that they don't want us to say. So we have to work around, how we talk, how we say these things. So I really do appreciate y'all, man. Um, listen, man, this little Blue Beam project, everybody's asking me to, review and react to it. So we're gonna see what it's about. So, if y'all could do, a shorty a favor, share the video, and I appreciate that. Question: who'd you just campaign? I'm confused on your question, Donald J. Trump. I'm confused. I'm not campaigning for nobody. If I campaign for anybody, I'm a campaign for Writers for Life. I'm just giving my commentary, right? Reviews and reactions is what we do here when we do these videos, right? And my opinion is what I put out there. If people cannot handle my opinion, right, that's on them. That's all I do here, right? I don't judge nobody. I don't bring nobody down, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give my honest opinion, right? And I'm going to react to it. So if what I'm saying bothers you or you think I'm picking a side, that's on y'all. Listen, over here, we don't pick sides. If I have to pick a side, I'll pick my side, right? I pick me. Because at the end of the day, I know that I'm on the side of right. I know what I want and where I'm going and what I want to do. It wasn't always like that, but it took me a minute to see everything and understand a lot of what's going on around me. And I still don't understand everything, right? And I'm still learning in the process of a lot of things. I'm still soaking in a lot of stuff, right? I'm not perfect. I'm beyond perfect. So I'm a little lost when people ask me questions like that. Over here, we don't pick sides. So if y'all looking for somewhere, there's some type of cult type shit, like, oh yeah, we're all Trump. There's no strings behind my back. I'm not rooting. Oh yes, Kamala. Oh yes, Trump. Oh yes, we're gonna war this. No, we're not doing that over here. Over here, we're talking. We could bring solutions to the table. We could bring them. If not, we keep it pushing. All right. So nobody should feel offended over here at the end of the day. Because like I tell people, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. And I'm just letting y'all know that. All right. So now let's continue. Let's enjoy the live stream, right? This is not for people to get in their bags, right? I have my opinions of what I see, right? And everybody has their opinions. I come up with my conclusions. People come up with their own conclusions. I'm not here to judge nobody.
Of a lawless, violent mob who would trade in their own vigilantism for the rule of law that protects us all. Let me say this plainly.
Oh shit, my bad. Blessings, Sally Yaben. Blessings. How you doing? Welcome. People on YouTube is crazy, but shout out to Donald J. Trump, yo, for real, for his comments.
There is no heroism in what Mangione did. This was a senseless act of violence. It was a cold and calculated crime that stole a life and put New Yorkers at risk. We don't celebrate murders and we don't lionize the killing of anyone. And any attempt to rationalize this is vile, reckless, and offensive to our deeply held principles of justice.
I mean, isn't that what y'all doing? I mean, the man is guilty. Okay, arrest him. But it's like y'all giving this so much shine. And once again, there's a whole manhunt still here. Y'all haven't found that guy that, sat here and killed his ex-wife and buried her on a hollow grave. I think there's like another manhunt somewhere else. I forgot where the city was at. I got to look up for the video because somebody sent me. I didn't even know that was happening. That's why I said I got to look back at that video. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. But there's so many things around and y'all just pressed on this, giving it shine.
Now, as we await
Jessica
the
Tisch is the police commissioner here in New York City alongside the Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg holding a news conference detailing the charges announced today, a new 11-count the document of charges against Luigi Mangione in the murder of Brian Thompson on the streets of New York City.
Oh, he had a
go
big
right
ID
now
on him.
to NBC's Tom Winter. Tom, tell us where this takes the case and how close this gets him to coming back to New York to face charges.
Well, it gets it a lot closer, Lester, because now there's a couple of different legal instruments in play here. This indictment that was returned by a Manhattan grand jury, and you heard the district attorney there calling it, quote, a brazen, targeted, and premeditated murder. He said that this was a frightening and well-planned murder, and you heard the words from New York City's police commissioner, not mincing them as far as the severity of the crime. According to her, the first count of the murder in the first degree and furtherance of terrorism, this is a statute in New York State, Lester, that is designed for people that want to try to kidnap or kill another individual to kind of further their cause or intimidate the public in this case, presumably being now deceased United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. So it's quite a serious charge. And as you heard, the potential penalties here, life in prison without parole in New York State. Next up for Luigi Mangione is to be in a Pennsylvania courtroom on Thursday morning. Two planned hearings there. One is a preliminary hearing, which is almost, legal experts say, entirely waived. And then the second will have to do with his extradition shortly after that, Lester, particularly if he waives it, as we expect. He'll be back in New York City potentially by the end of this week.
All right, let me bring in our senior legal correspondent, Laura Jarrett. Laura, help me understand these counts. Basically, 3 murder counts here. There's a mention of terrorism. Can you help us understand exactly what they're trying to say?
Yes, Lester. First of all, they're splitting them between first degree and second degree murder in case the jury eventually cannot find that this was premeditated for whatever reason. They have a second degree murder charge there for that reason. In terms of the terrorism enhancement that Tom mentioned, it's an interesting one. It's quite serious. It's not used that frequently, but it does require an uphill battle for prosecutors, as they're going to have to show here that it was meant to send a larger message, that this case wasn't just about the victim, Brian Thompson, but his writings. The suspect's writings here are going to come into play, and where he sort of has a larger message about the healthcare industry in particular. We should also mention the ghost guns figuring in here. You heard the district attorney talking about what a scourge they have been for this city, and of course the forged instrument having to relate to that fake ID, Lester.
All right, Laura.
Yo, them 3D guns really look real as shit. It look like a cake though. Like y'all ever seen them little shows where their art look real? That's what that shit look like. Look like one of them little cakes. I seen the bull put one in his mouth one day on a show, and I was like, oh snap, who was it that he was doing it to? It wasn't Nicki Minaj, was it? It was to a celebrity. He was asking if it looked it real. Then he bit that joint off. That's how it looked it. But this is a whole 3D joint, and it really do look real. It kind of looked like they burnt the handle, though.
Thanks. Stephanie Gosk is near where Mangione is being held in Pennsylvania. Stephanie, there were mentions of 2 court hearings, essentially, that will move this case along in one direction or the other.
Yeah, that's right, Lester. And it will probably happen very quickly in the morning. That extradition hearing that's scheduled as the second hearing here in this courthouse will probably be waived. I do want to hone in a little bit on what the police commissioner said there and what she called the grotesque embrace of this violent act.
Yo, I didn't even know that we had a place called Hollidaysburg, PA. I'm looking and I'm thinking it's saying Harrisburg. No, this shit says Hollidaysburg, PA. I didn't even know that town or city existed. Oh, snap. So that's where she's streaming live from?
One of the things that public officials have been so concerned about is the support that has been shown to Luigi Mangione online. Not just anger at the health industry, but celebrating the murder itself. She talked about those flyers targeting other CEOs in the healthcare industry that had been plastered around New York City. And they're concerned that they have that this murder could potentially trigger more violence, Lester.
All right, Stephanie Gosk.
Wait, didn't it already? Doesn't he have a copycat? What's her name? It's a Florida mom. What is the Florida mom's name? I don't know. We're going to find out because we're going to react to that video next, right? So she told a healthcare company exactly what they do to people. Okay, we're going to find out about the Florida mom in a second. But we already got the copycats. Is y'all trying to say that he had a list of people that he was going to shoot after the CEO? Because from my understanding, the first time y'all spoke on this, his only target was that CEO, right? From that company because of what they did to his mother. And y'all was explaining the agony that he went through. So, let's continue. Listen, I want to understand a little more. I want to understand a little more before I really give my honest opinion. Like,
Yes, thanks very much. So again, Luigi Mangione has been charged with 11 counts by the New York DA. Next steps, those court hearings, and possibly the extradition of Mangione back to New York to face these very, very serious charges. It's a case that certainly rocked this city and much of the country as it played out. That concludes this NBC News special report. We'll have the latest on our streaming network, NBC News Now, online at NBCnews.com, and a full wrap-up tonight on Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt. Thank you for watching, and good day.
That's it.
Matters.
Oh, no, it's not.
We have a phenomenal trial team in place, led by ADA Joel Seidman, who has been in this office for more than 40 years and handled some very challenging matters. We have a wide-year process in place. I have faith in our jury system to select 12 people who can be fair and impartial, but we'll move forward, and that's something well down the road. But we'll be
like it's an episode of Law and Order right now.
Two questions, if possible. One will be about Mr. Thompson's family. But the first, I want just maybe to explain more to viewers how you come to the conclusion that this is an act of terrorism. I think it's an important part of this. And so I'm hoping maybe you can explain that a little more, just sort of.
I mean, that's a good question. How do they come to the conclusion that this is an act of terrorism? Once again, I keep saying the same thing. How is it an act of terrorism when his one and only target was that man? Which I think it was stupid what he did, because he should have done his research. He could have went around it another way if he wanted to prove a point, right? Not by unaliving this person. Like, this person could easily get replaced, right? And once again, I don't feel bad. I feel bad for his family, right? They don't have a father to help, right? He's out the picture, much more. Like, I can listen, but we're not going to get to that. I can really go down the line, but we're not going to get to that. Wait. Stay focused. He's not the only CEO that has done this. So I understand, but knowing that people can get like this, right? What are these health insurance companies going to do now? Are they going to change, their policies, the way of how they deal with their clients? Because, I mean, these are insurance companies, right, that people are actually putting their hard-earned money into. I don't care, listen, if your parents got money, if your grandparents got money, at the end of the day, they're putting their money into this, right? It's like, how would you feel, right, if you made it this far, right, and you got to pay for your health insurance and they're screwing you over? So it's like, I could understand both sides. And like I said, there's other ways of doing things. He shouldn't have unalived him. He started a chain of reactions, right? He was wrong. My thing is, arrest the man, charge him for what you're going to charge him, right? Instead of making it seem like they know what they're doing. The media know exactly what they're doing. That's why you hear different stories, different sides. The media know what they're doing.
Define maybe the statute here a little bit.
Sure, and my point, I mean, the statute talks about attempts to influence or coerce a civilian population. The statute talks about intending to influence a policy of government, and it talks about seeking to put forth things sort of similar to that by murder. So the statute, plain language of the statute is clear. Obviously, we've charged it. The grand jury has voted on it, and we intend to go forward and prove it. But I think it does help to take a step back, and think about the proof in the case, some of the writings. I'm not going to get into too much of that, but in the actual reaction, in the middle of Midtown, the beginning of a busy day, tourists, commuters, business people, the intent was to sow
I'm
terror.
listening.
And if I could just, on Mr. Thompson's family, sadly, as you say, not a lot of focus has been given to Mr. Thompson or his family. I'm wondering if
He didn't really answer his question. He just beat around the bush. He did not answer the man's question.
the services folks or any of the folks in your office have been talking to them and what that's been like. there's anything you can say about that.
I'm not going to talk about communications with the family other than to say that we have a robust survivor services staff here that is second to none. But I would not talk about communications with any family. I don't think it'd be appropriate. But I appreciate your concern.
Well, it's just because, like you're saying, there's been so much focus on suspects here. It's quite different than what we normally see.
I echo what the commissioner said, and the sentiment of your question, my heart goes out to it. This is a significant piece of what we do here.
You can't even answer the
We
question.
center the trauma of survivors and victims and their families. A significant piece of what I do is sit across the table and look people in the eye, and when appropriate, if they want to offer a hug. We have
Citizens, and you're one too.
dedicated advocates and counselors and great staff that focuses on that. So I agree completely with you, and I wish that that's where the public's focus was exclusively. That's where it should be. That's where it is here, and it is obviously
Commander,
the facts on the case. But because of respect for where your question is coming from, I'm not going to get into communications.
For the Chief Attorney, given the celebration of the shooter here tried, I'm wondering if the NYPD is shifting any of its practices, or even talking to CEOs at this point, or deploying in different places than you were before.
Yes, absolutely. And we've seen a real increase, sustained increase since December 4th in concern, not just from CEOs, but from corporations broadly. And so going back to the DA's point, the intent to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, which is, of course, at the root of our state terrorism statute, is very much borne out in this reaction. And for good reason. We've had a torrent of online threats. We've had real world activity that the police commissioner flagged, which is abhorrent, and it causes concern. So we have done a lot to work with corporate security partners with whom we partner on a daily basis in this city, at the city level, at the state level, trying to make sure that everybody has the best practices that they need, that they know where to flag not just general ambient concerns, but specific threats that they might be receiving that a few weeks ago they might have written off as just noise in the online environment, that they now take seriously. So these are ongoing conversations that we have, and thanks to all the work that we do together every day, we're quite confident that concerns and threats are going to be appropriately directed our way.
We're going to take two more. Yep. Dear Brad, could you describe just how rare it is?
So basically they're saying that they got proof, and that's why they got concerned, because of the threats that are going to come their way. Ooh, well, I mean, this wouldn't be happening if people wouldn't be scamming people. It's like, listen, it's like I was saying the other day, right? I don't know if y'all seen the live that I did the other day, right? This landlord sat here and he rented this house out 6 months ago. Y'all seen the neighbor, right? On a few of my lives, right? She rented the apartment out from him, right? And I don't know what was going on, or what was running through his fucking head, or what beef he had, he caught with the tenant, but she's real cool. But my thing is, right, she's been asking him for a while to fix certain things in the house that need to be fixed. Scum Lord. So he wouldn't do it. Out of nowhere, he pops up with an eviction letter. Sheriffs, all this stuff in front of the house, right? My thing is, if you didn't really want to rent to her, you should have said that, right? Because you didn't want to fix things around the house. You could have found, a crackhead you could have rented to, but you can't get your rent from a crackhead. An alcoholic, but you can't get your rent from an alcoholic. The problem is that you're a scumlord and you don't want to fix what needs to be fixed. She should have called L&I on his ass. But see, when people got good hearts, they don't do that. She should have got his shit shut down, because his building is shuttable. Like, it is, like, if they go in there, they'll shut that bitch down. But he really took her out with the sheriff and everything. And it's crazy. She has every right to sue the crap out of him for everything he owns for what he did. Like I say, you got the right paperwork, do your thing. But people out here, yo, scheming and scamming, I've seen people lose their lives for that. Landlords have lost their lives, and I don't think politicians and, business owners are any different. Like, if you scam somebody to a certain point, they find out, boy, don't listen. Just know that when you scam somebody, their reaction is never going to be good. Never. And that's what's happening with these CEOs. They're getting exposed. And, people getting tired. I'm not going to judge nobody for their reaction, because I feel as though that these companies is fucked up. Like, they need to get their shit together, yo. They really do. I mean, my bad. Let me press play. Them random thoughts was going overboard, wasn't they?
Murder. There has been some talk about how that is reserved to very specific cases in Manhattan. And also, if you could speak to the statements made on the record by the suspect that inform this timeline in particular, if he's made any specific incriminating work or statements that have to do with the time.
So I'll address the first piece. The first degree murder statute has a number of subsections. They're sort of clearly delineated, and they are reserved for, the most abhorrent conduct, killing a police officer, serial killing, and the terrorism is one subsection of that. And so I would say, fortunately, that's not happening a lot. Taking a step back, I can't think of another office.
Killing an officer. How you compare this to killing an officer?
Terrorism charge. We have a great terrorism unit. We were at the forefront of getting the statute passed. Within the last 2 years,
Was he trying to say that what he did to this CEO is kind of like killing an officer? Is that what he's trying? I mean, listen, I don't know. Let me go back a little bit real quick. I apologize. The video's almost over, but I need to understand what he's trying to say with this.
Serial killing, and the terrorism is one subsection of that. And so I would say, fortunately, that's not happening a lot. Taking a step back, I can't think of another office that is more.
Every day.
First degree murder. There has been some talk about how that is reserved to very specific cases in Manhattan. And also, if you could speak to the statements made on the record by the suspect that inform this timeline in particular, if he's made any specific incriminating work or statements that have to do with the time.
So I'll address the first piece. The first degree murder statute has a number of subsections. They're sort of clearly delineated, and they are reserved for, the most abhorrent conduct, killing a police officer, serial killing, and the terrorism is one subsection of that. And so I would say, fortunately, that's not happening a lot. Taking a step back, I can't think of another office that is more equipped to handle
He had me confused. He's talking about the policies. Okay.
Terrorism charge. We have a great terrorism unit. We were at the forefront of getting the statute passed. Within the last 2 years, we've tried 2 very significant terrorism cases, one involving an English-speaking operative based in Jamaica, and another involving someone who was here and funding overseas terrorism by cryptocurrency. So we have the expertise, and as I mentioned, the expertise on this team, and so we're prepared to go forward.
And about the statements?
Yeah, I'm not going to go beyond what's in the filing.
All right, last question, Laura. Greg, are you able to say now, I know it's early stages, but that you will be seeking the next?
That's a good question, Conquest Flatador. That's a good question. He says, I heard that Luigi's mother never had a policy with United Health. If that's true, I wonder what his motive was. I know that okay, I'm about to look up the video they sent me with his mom. So give me 1 second, right? I'm going to let this finish playing. Because he has a good question. Shout out to Conquest Flotador.
So as a matter of practice, I don't talk about sentencing outside of court as a first matter, and certainly not at the initial stages of a matter. But I think you can tell the seriousness with which we take this matter by the way in which it's charged. The murder in the second degree actually has a mandatory life without parole sentence, no discretion for the judge at all. So that's the maximum there. But I'm not going to go beyond that. We will first get the defendant to New York. We will have him arraigned.
Oh, they're saying that she was
for our judge,
contacted by police.
engage in pretrial litigation. If there's a trial, we're ably equipped to do that. And then we will proceed to sentencing, at which point we'll make our arguments.
No, okay. It was just
thank you all
that.
so much. I was taking your book.
Thank you so much. I gotta run.
All right. Wait 1 second. Trying to find the video. There's so many videos. Give me 1 second. I got his family speaking here. So this video says Luigi Mangone's family released a statement. Banfield? What is Banfield? In a statement Monday night, the Mangone family addressed Luigi Mangone's arrest. Unfortunately, we cannot comment on news reports regarding. We only know what we have read in the media. Our family is shocked and devastated by Louis' arrest. Okay, let's hear them.
Scene there, we were able to pretty much whatever we got on scene there. We were able to pretty much find where he was at in the restaurant. And as soon as he was wearing a blue medical mask. As soon as we pulled that down, or we asked him to pull it down, me and my partner and I recognized him immediately, just from what we saw in the media with photos, videos. We just didn't even think twice about it. We knew that was our guy.
News Nation's national correspondent Alex Capriello has been in Altoona all day. He joins me now live, as does our Brian Enton, who's at the suspect's alma mater, the University of Pennsylvania. Okay, Alex, I'm going to begin with you. You were in court. You got an up-close and personal look at him in court. Take me there and describe everything. Don't leave anything out.
The family don't got the family don't got shit to say to the damn news reporters. I don't blame them. I wonder what is the real motive behind all this. I don't know. As I go through this, right, and I hear people's opinions because people have been watching this way before me, right? It's giving me the sense of something is being hidden from us. What are they hiding from us? Something's being kept. There's something they're not telling us.
Yeah, believe it or not, I started my day just outside Central Park watching NYPD scuba divers going through the lake, thinking that was going to be the big development of the day. Little did we know that we heard of this arrest that happened in Altoona, Pennsylvania. So my photographer and I jumped in a car, headed 4.5 hours, and made it right in the nick of time. We walked inside this courthouse and got a front row seat into that proceeding and how it went. First, let's start with the defendant himself, Mangione. Really strange to see him walk in after everything that we had heard and seen. Only small glimpses of this guy's face, and now to see who police believe to be the suspect of this murder walking towards me. He was handcuffed at both his waist and his ankles. He was accompanied by no less than a dozen police officers and sheriff's deputies who were making sure that they had a close eye on him at all times. But really, when we talk about his intelligence that people are talking about, it really displayed in court. He was very eloquent when he spoke, showing off his intelligence, even speaking up at several different instances when he wasn't even being asked to speak. For example, when he was denying some of the claims against him made by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, he had no hesitation to speak up about that. But this was a moment for them to read off the charges as they exist here in Pennsylvania, and again, not related to the murder in New York. Those charges here in Pennsylvania: forgery, firearms not to be carried without a license, tampering with records or identification, possessing instruments of a crime, and then finally false identification to law enforcement employees. This is exactly what it is here in Pennsylvania. We'll see when that arrest warrant comes from New York and what that entails, whether or not it exists to a federal extent or also state crimes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that warrant was being filed, the arrest warrant would be filed tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if federal charges are announced tomorrow. That just makes the extradition immediate. Brian, real quickly, as we look at this list of charges, you know, everything in the coverage today has been all about Luigi Mangione, but now his family is finally weighing in. What have you found out?
Yeah, we just got this statement from them within the last 5 minutes, a prominent family from Maryland, and I want to read it to you. This is what.
This is crazy, yo. Facts. Shout out to Mean Dean. Welcome to the live. My first time seeing you. I appreciate the comment, yo. He says that wasn't too intelligent. He's going to prison for the rest of his life, and that's a for sure fact. For real. Listen, ain't no turning back on this.
What they say. Unfortunately, we cannot comment on news reports regarding Luigi Mangione. We only know what we have read in the media. Our family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest. We offer our prayers to the family of Brian Thompson, and we ask people to pray for all involved. We are devastated by this. You know, what's so interesting, Ashley, is when we cover these shootings, oftentimes it's the lone.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.
Oh, that's it?
News Nation.
Oh, my bad. Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Like, damn, you just shocked me. Thanks for watching. 1 second. Damn. Let me search. I think they said that the mom got a phone call. That's what I was reading. Let's see.
Targeted murder. Authorities say it was intended to cause. We begin tonight with the breaking news in the CEO murder case. Just in tonight, a grand jury in New York City has now indicted Luigi Mangione on first and second degree murder charges, calling it an act of terror. The DA calling it a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder. Authorities say it was intended to cause terror. Tonight, Mangione remains jailed in Pennsylvania, where he was arrested. He's due in court on Thursday. His newly hired lawyer now says she expects he will agree to waive extradition and return to New York to face these charges.
That's what I was
could happen
saying.
in days. We're also learning tonight about the phone call from authorities to Mangione's mother, just days after these surveillance images were first seen by the country.
People shout
Authorities
out
today saying that mother
unhinged.
did not rule out her son. ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky leading us off right here in New York.
Tonight, nearly 2 weeks after the chief executive of United Healthcare was gunned down outside a Manhattan hotel and left to die on the sidewalk, a grand jury indicted Luigi Mangione, charging him with killing Brian Thompson in furtherance of terrorism.
In the middle of Midtown, the beginning of a busy day, tourists, commuters, business people, the intent was to sow terror.
The 26-year-old Ivy League graduate is now charged with first and second degree murder for the high-profile hit.
This was a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder that was intended to cause shock and attention and intimidation.
That's another way
For
of
the
seeing
first
it.
time
Shout
today,
out
the
to Mean
NYPD
Dean.
detailed how detectives first spoke to Mangione's mother 3 days after the shooting. She had reported him missing in November to police in San Francisco. As soon as they saw the wanted poster, they called New York. When
Oh, so this explains a little more. So the detectives have talked to the mom 3 days before because she put in a missing persons report on her son.
Investigators reached Mangione's mother, she did not rule out her son could be the killer.
They had a conversation.
Oh, snap. So her mom didn't even say that he's not the killer. She just, it could be a possibility that he is. Oh, wow. Yo, am I the only one tripping right now? Like, he said he did this for his mama. But his mama said, his mama didn't even defend him. That's where I'm like, wait, what? Wait a minute. If this was for his mom, right? Why would his mom say, yeah, there's a possibility that my son could do it? Could have done it. I'm with Conquista Flotador right here, right now, right? Like, Flotador, my bad. Like, something's missing in this piece of the puzzle. Y'all know way more and don't want to tell us. But you know what it is? Y'all want to have us on go mode. That's the problem. Y'all want to have all of us on go mode, ain't it? This is America, land of the free, where you gotta pay for water, even the air you breathe. Y'all screaming Black Lives Matter, turn around and watch our kids die and cry and ask why. They gotta fly high. Now we gotta be strong enough to storm the weather. Y'all weak, y'all fold under pressure. Now y'all went and lost your treasure. Oh my, look at the oppressor, dressed as a professor, calls himself a hitman, missed his target and got banned. Now he's tomorrow's trend, all for a brand. Don't act surprised. Y'all can stand. Y'all knew the plan. Y'all know that friend with that itchy hand ready to see you go missing? Damn, what a scam. The whole time they was listening. They was just a part of the plan. Got us on a mission, on go mode and ready to rant. I ain't falling for it. I'm not going on go mode and I am sure as hell not ready to fucking rant. The media could do this on their own.
Where she didn't indicate that it was her son in the photograph, but she said it might be something that she could see him doing.
Even Mangione's new lawyer conceded before she was hired, the evidence was overwhelming.
Yo, if the cops came knocking at my door and said, "We think this is your son," I would have looked, I don't know what you're talking about, officer. Why you knocking on my like that? I'm over here thinking I'm in danger. I'm thinking somebody, you know when you're the officer, you over here, boom, 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 boom. At least say officer. I'm over here ready to, like, damn. Listen, I'm not snitching on my son. If I knew that my son was out here, he went bam, bam on some Grand Theft Auto type shit trying to defend his mama, I'm not going to say, well, yeah, I could picture my son doing some type shit like that. I just bury him. And he out here trying to allegedly be Superman for his mama. What a mom. But shout out to this mama, though. Shout out to this mom. I'm sorry. That was just some random thoughts. Listen. I don't know what just went through my head because I don't know what the heck is going on with these people out here, yo.
Overwhelming. She also floated a possible insanity defense.
You have someone who is a valedictorian of his class. He was brilliant his whole life. He comes from this great family. I mean, something changed, right? Significantly, something changed.
Now, with an indictment secured, New York's police commissioner said no one should lionize the suspect.
In the nearly 2 weeks since Mr. Thompson's killing, we have seen a shocking and appalling celebration of cold-blooded murder. Let me say this plainly. There is no heroism in what Mangione did. This was a senseless act of violence. It was a cold and calculated crime that stole a life and put New Yorkers at risk.
Crazy.
Mangione's jailed in Pennsylvania tonight. David, his attorney, tells us she expects he will waive extradition Thursday. He'd be brought here to court for arraignment on this sparingly used murder charge reserved for the most depraved killings. David?
Aaron Katersky leading us off with the breaking news here tonight. Aaron, thank you. And we should note that Aaron is just part of the team that will have a special edition of 2020 Thursday night on suspect Luigi Mangione and the CEO murder case. That's
Y'all made this man famous. Yo, when he get out, if he ever does get out, because I mean, I see y'all saying that he's being charged with life. But even in there, he can make money off a book. Y'all is putting so much shine on him right now. Y'all are going to be the reason why there's going to be more copycats. I mean, I said this the last time, and boom, look, we got a copycat, right? For those of y'all, I mean, it's crazy. This case has me over here all discombobulated. Like, I listen, my thoughts is everywhere. Okay. So I'm starting to understand why a lot of people are saying what they're saying. Man, just lock him up. Let me ask y'all something. If it was somebody from the hood that did this, would y'all put all this press on it? Would y'all put this much time, this effort into it? Or is it because he's a rich little kid that sat here and thought that he was actually bringing the game Grand Theft Auto to life? That y'all putting this much effort into this much time into it? We know that he killed the CEO. Dumbest thing to do, because if you think about it, he'll be replaced. I mean, I've been saying this since I found out about this. Let's hear about this copycat. Listen, man, I would love to hear y'all comments. Anybody that catches the replay, leave your comments down below and let us shorty know what y'all think about this case. Luigi Mangione. Now, let's find out. Florida mom, right, ends up doing the same thing. Lil Wayne, where you at? I think I need a shroom from you. I need to get on a skateboard with Mary Jane and Jack Daniels. Maybe I could just figure out this shit. Where the fuck Lil Wayne at? Because I'm telling you, man, I need to be on his type time right now. Yo, I can't. I need, like, this world makes you want to hide under a rock. Shit be crazy, man. The judge can put an order where he can make money off the crime. Oh, yeah, that's true. Damn, Commander Ray, he can't. If he does, I mean, it's up to the judge. Let's see what happens. Everything's fine, guilty of murder. They'll make it to where he can't profit off anything related to this. Hey, hopefully he does that. Hopefully they do that, man. But like I said, this is America. You never know. What state I'm in? I'm in Pennsylvania. That's the state. Well, Philadelphia. My bad. I keep forgetting Philadelphia is still. Isn't Pennsylvania the state? And Philadelphia ends up being. Oh, man, listen. Don't get me started on that right now. Shit, wait. I'm from Philadelphia. What city I'm in? Philadelphia. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. State, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I'm tripping. Listen. It's time to smoke. Hold on one sec. I need a smoke. It's time to smoke. Shit. I even get in my state all fucking discombobulated. I'm from the state of Pennsylvania, the city of Philadelphia, the community of HP. Welcome to Philly, baby.
This Florida mom in jail. I'll tell you about Breonna Boston's case and why she's in so much trouble. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Typically, I wouldn't be telling you about a woman getting into it with her insurance company on a phone call over a claim. But what happened in New York on December 4th changed everything.
No kids
allowed.
allowed.
That was when United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot from behind, executed as he walked to an investor conference. Police launched a search for the killer. And 5 days later, a week ago, they arrested and charged 26-year-old Luigi Mangione with shooting and killing Brian Thompson. Police said shell casings found at the scene where Thompson was murdered were marked with the words, deny, defend, and depose. Those words are important. They're used by critics of the health insurance industry to discuss practices used by health insurance companies when denying claims for care. Police say they found a document in Mangione's backpack in which he took credit for shooting Thompson, writing, frankly, these parasites had it coming. So what does any of this have to do with a woman named Breonna Boston in Florida? Well, on December 10th, the FBI called the Lakeland Police Department and said Boston had called Blue Cross Blue Shield about a claim that she was denied. A probable cause affidavit says near the end of the call that Boston stated in sum and substance, delay, deny, depose. You people are next. This phrase references an exact phrase used during recent current events regarding the United Healthcare Insurance Company CEO who was shot and killed in Manhattan, New York. Shell casings were recovered at the scene and had the words delay, deny, and depose written on the shell casings.
Oh, shit.
This information was released to the media and became a nationally recognized phrase directed against insurance companies.
Agora Cyber Charter School is ready to put.
I should have put this one on my premium too. Wait. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to
from the shell casings found at the scene, but you can see why police were concerned, even if one of the words was different, delay versus defend. So the cops went to talk to Breonna Boston, and she acknowledged that she said it and apologized. The affidavit continued. Boston stated she used those words because it's what's in the news right now. Boston advised that she learned of the phrase because of current events regarding the United Healthcare homicide. Boston stated she did not own any firearms and she was not a danger to anyone. Boston further stated that healthcare companies played games and deserved karma from the world because they are evil. These comments did not help Breonna Boston. She was charged with making threats to conduct a mass shooting or an act of terrorism.
How is she a copycat? She ain't unalive nobody. All she did was make some threats. Okay, I understand arresting her for making threats. But she ain't unalive nobody. How is she a copycat? I thought I dropped something. Wait a minute. Am I tripping? I'm not even on cloud 9 yet. Shit. Where the clouds at? Mary Jane, you ain't doing your job. It's time to smoke.
Law enforcement is, of course, on high alert for threats, and so are these insurance companies. I spoke with Brian Thompson's former security officer, Philip Klein, about the concern about threats to executives. And you've seen an uptick since his murder in CEOs, companies wanting protection for their, we were just talking about this, for their CEOs.
Yeah, I will tell you, we're 100%. We're not taking any new clients right now because we're at 100%. We became 100% about noon yesterday. Yeah, we are seeing a huge uptick, but what's not helping is twofold again. The first fold is these whack jobs out there that are celebrating his death and targeting other CEOs. I mean, that's out there. That's way far out there.
Well, obviously, as much press as y'all putting on this, there's going to be a lot of people getting the idea. I mean, y'all not even giving this a break. There's other things that have been way bigger than this, right? And y'all have let it fade. Let it turn into cold cases. But y'all really have put so much attention to this. Once again, have y'all found that man that unalived his ex-wife and buried her in a hollow? I'm still trying to figure out who's hiding this man. Y'all haven't even seen him through a camera. Like, what is it that somebody's pulling up into a, like, he's in, what is he, staying in houses with garages? And like, whenever he enters enters the house, he gets out the trunk of the car, right? Whenever he's going to leave the house, he gets back into the trunk of the car. Because I'm just trying to figure out, did the bull make it out of Philly already? Because this guy, y'all found him in a matter of 4 freaking days because he killed the CEO of a health insurance company. But there's a whole family out here trying to find justice for their daughter, granddaughter. You know, that's a mother that lost, she was a mother. Kids out here without a mother. This man's still on the run. And I'm trying to figure out, listen, don't commit that type of crime. Don't think I'm going to sit here. Listen, don't come knocking at my door after you've killed your ex-wife thinking I'm going to fucking cover you. No. I'm just trying to figure out how that isn't getting so much attention, but this is. Y'all got the guy in custody. And y'all complaining because now, listen, this lady wasn't even a copycat. All she did was speak her mind out of anger. She shouldn't have did that out of anger. She should have just, but hey, I can't control somebody's emotions or tell them what to do. But shit, y'all knew that y'all was gonna, blow this out of proportion when y'all did what y'all did in the media. Arrest the bull, that's it. Y'all got him in y'all custody, do what y'all gotta do. Oh, fuck. His mama won't even take up for him. His mama said, I don't know. Yo no sé nada. Yo ni siquiera hablo inglés.
They forget he had a wife. They forget he had 2 kids. They forget that he had colleagues all around him that are mourning right now. They're upset and they're angry. Second, now we got political officials. AOC chirped in yesterday, which really concerned a lot of us out here that protect political officials. We kind of scratch our heads and say, well, I wonder how her family would feel if it was her. And so, I think the political discourse in the United States of America is at a fevered pitch. We rate everything on a 1 to 5 in our security consult business, and we're at a 4 around the United States right now. I think it's a matter of time before a cappy.
Meet Delilah
Yeah,
and
hey, what a
Petite.
commercial.
The
Oh
first
my
two
God, I knew I
cats
should have went on
adopted
Prime.
out.
What was I thinking? Hold on, baby.
a
We talk about it in a minute, all right?
Emerges and something else happens to some other executive, whether it be television, whether it be healthcare, whether it be the grocery store owners, whether it be, we can go down the list. I mean, just go down the list that everybody's affected by. I think a lot of some of the doors have been opened now. And once you go through that door, it's hard to walk back through it.
Brianna Boston faces a serious felony charge. I looked her up on truthfinder.com to see what might come up. Truthfinder is one of the largest public records search services out there. Brianna Boston's name appears in the search results, but that new criminal charge she faces related to the allegation that she threatened a health insurance company, that's not on there just yet. It's pretty new. There are no other criminal records posted for her either. Truthfinder is great because it will show you current and past LC Crime Fix.
Oh my God, these dumbass ads.
Jail records show.
Like, I don't understand that shit. Like, can y'all put it as in like shit? Are the kids on Christmas break? Yeah, shit. Mine don't start until tomorrow. I mean, no, not until Friday. My bad. No. This one just thinks she grown. But don't worry, when I'm done this live, me and her gonna have a little conversation. It's none of your business. You shouldn't be down here. Bye. We just had a talk that night. You're still right there. I'll end this live, but you're going to be in punishment because you're supposed to be in bed, sleep by now. Am I right or wrong? Good night. Shit, boy, I'm telling you, I don't want no more kids, boy, because these kids be having you sound like police officers, man. Then people be like, oh, you're so mean to them. Ain't nobody being mean. They just got to learn. But let's continue. I got to laugh. Listen, man, I'm Mama Kangaroo. Let me know when I could take my little Jimmy out my pouch.
As the judge set her bail at $100,000. Jail records show she was released and is currently on GPS monitoring and has to check in daily. I want to bring in Anthony Rickman. He is a criminal defense attorney based in Tampa. He is not representing Brianna Boston, but he has been following the case closely. So, Anthony, thanks for coming on. Your first thoughts on the arrest of Brianna Boston for...
What's her name, Brianna Boston? I'm about to go look up a little more information on Brianna Boston. I'm just trying to figure out why they keep calling it copycat. Florida mom accused of Luigi Mangione copycat threat. What in the world?
Making these alleged threats to the insurance company representative.
Well, thank you for having me. And looking at what she is charged with and what she is alleged to have done, my first thoughts are really this is an overcharge. I really feel in looking at the facts of the case and looking at what she said to the person on the other line from Blue Cross Blue Shield, ultimately, this doesn't substantiate a criminal charge for making a threat to commit mass shooting, or an act of terrorism. At the end of the day, what she said was stupid. What she said was something that she probably shouldn't have said.
I just said that.
In reality, people can say stupid things. People can engage in hyperbole. People can say what they feel without the fear of being prosecuted. And in this particular case, I do not feel that what she did met the statutory requirement, what we call a true threat. And that's a real actionable threat to do violence that can be perceived by the listener as an actual threat to do serious, imminent injury to another person.
So she did say when the cops went to talk to her, look, I don't have any firearms. I don't, I'm not looking to hurt anybody. However, I mean, she did use language very similar to what was on the shell casing.
Only Commander would say something. I'm dead. If I call them, I might say it in Spanish. They'll never know what I said. Shit, they got translators, Commander. They got translators, Commander. Don't try it. Don't try it, Commander. Then they could trace that call. Don't do it, Commander. Only Commander, I'm dead.
In the New York case with Brian Thompson's murder. And, I have to push back on you a little bit and play devil's advocate because she may not have firearms. She may not be somebody who is contemplating homicide. And maybe that's where you're talking about the statute specifically. But she did say, well, there is karma here, karma involved. She took it a step further in some of her comments, talking about how, there is karma with the insurance industry, et cetera. So, I mean, she did herself zero favors, and she's on tape. There's a recording of this.
Yeah, she did herself no favors. And that's why they tell you don't say anything when you're talking to the police. Because at the end of the day, her actual belief and her statement of, hey, I'm not going to do anything. I don't have guns. I didn't intend for this to be taken in a manner, really doesn't matter when you're looking at what we call a true threat. It is really an analysis on how the person who heard the threat took it. And if that person subjectively took her statement to be a threat to commit an act of unlawful violence. So I see why ultimately the state made the decision to pull the trigger, but at the end of the day, I don't believe the circumstantial should be ultimately convicted. Because when we talk about this case, we know she's talking to some person who most likely she doesn't know. She's never met. She's never seen that person. We don't know if the call taker is in this state of Florida, in the United States of America at all. And at the end of the day,
that's true. But then people also got to watch what they do and what they say. I mean, you see social media, a lot of people, because they behind the screen, because they typing behind the keyboard, think they could say and do what they want and nothing's going to happen. There won't be no record, no actions behind it. Like, no consequences behind their actions. And there's a lot of heavy consequences behind what people do here on social media. So, I mean, that's why I'm comparing the two right now. It's kind of like, I get what you're saying, but it could have been, like you just said, this person felt threatened because of what she said, especially in the midst of all this happening. I mean, I got to cut it down the middle. I got to be real about it, right? Let's be real about it. I mean, shit is crazy. But, you can't tell people what to do. You can't tell people how to act or how to feel once again. So that's why we got to be cautious, right? It's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Once again, and I've said it before, time after time. I don't get tired of saying that.
For that person on the other end to believe that these three words, coupled with "you people are next," is an actual threat of violence. And we talk about those three words. If it wasn't for this horrific,
I got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube without ever even showing my face, and I got all of these awards right.
Assassination of the CEO of United Healthcare. And at the end of the day, no one is justifying, at least no one consciously should think that that's a good idea. Vigilante justice in this country, for whatever reason, is criminal. And this person, if there is evidence against Luigi Mangione, which appears there is, he's going to be prosecuted to the fullest. But those words, delay, deny, depose, those are words that have really been used to describe the healthcare industry as a whole and what they do. The people are upset with the healthcare industry. They delay the claim, they deny the claim, and then they do whatever they can to get rid of that claim, dispose of the claim. So her statement's taken in a vacuum. I think, she can say what she says, but at the end of the day, the question is what she said criminal? Here, she doesn't threaten to actually shoot anybody, and that's part of the statute. She doesn't say, I'm going to kill you. She says, you people are next, and karma. Karma comes in different ways. Karma comes around. And for her, in her defense, what she's going to say is that this.
He's not lying. So, I mean, my question to it too is, how did they take this to be a terroristic threat? Because she expressed how she felt. She never once said she was going to harm anybody, do anything against anybody, or try something against anybody. I mean, could somebody help me out on this?
This wasn't a threat. This was me saying something I shouldn't have said. She admits that she shouldn't have said it. It was hyperbole. It was a joke. And really, it can't be criminalized. We don't criminalize speech unless there's a real possibility that violence is going to follow. And in this case, she's going to argue that there was no possibility. I just said something that I shouldn't have said.
Well, it wasn't a joke. I mean, she wasn't joking, but she wasn't joking.
It was nice chatting with you too, Mean Bean. I appreciate your support. Hope you enjoyed the stream today, and hope to see you again, man. It was nice chatting with you.
But I mean, it sounds like she probably needs to hire you to handle this case.
Hey.
I mean, we talked before because she's.
Yeah, she's
I mean, you
funny.
do make
She
a
said she
compelling
need to hire
argument,
you.
but she wasn't
She should.
joking. I mean, she was mad. and we haven't heard the recording yet. You, before we started talking for the interview, you
I
said,
would love
this
to
is a
hear what she
probable
said,
cause
yo. Where the
arrest.
recording
And
at?
that's
Who
where we
got the
stand at this
recording?
point. It will now get kicked over to the state attorney's office for them to review this, to see whether they're going to like take it to the grand jury, whether they're going to carry through with this, thing, this mass shooting / terrorism charge, etc. So, if you're the defense attorney in this case, do you go to the state attorney and do you try to work this out in some respect, or what do you do?
So in these cases, just because the arrest is made, the state's going to review it and make a filing decision. In my experience, the first thing I do and the most important thing is to get to a prosecutor, talk to them about the facts of the case and how the facts relate to the law. And in 2023, there was a Supreme Court case that came out that really discussed what has to be proven to establish what we call a true threat. Because threats are allowed constitutionally under the free speech statute. But to be a true threat, a prosecutable threat, you have to show a requisite mental intent of recklessness, meaning that you made a statement so reckless that the listener had that imminent fear. So the first thing I do when I get these cases, I go to the prosecutor, I go to the state attorney's office, I present them with the law, we talk about the facts in hopes of getting the state.
It's not gonna work because people nowadays be in the bag. You know what the problem is, right? You got motherfuckers talking about that they want to make a change, they want to make a difference, but still stuck in the same phase. You got motherfuckers talking about that they want to chase a bag, but stay at home and nag. Then when you ask them what they need, they say less talking, more opinions, no prayers with division. You ask me, y'all need to focus more on revision, rely less on television. How you want a future you have no vision? This world is just like fiction. What we need is more talking, less opinions, more prayers with no division. Before you come up with a conclusion, giving people false illusions, pick up a book, do your research, learn your history before you end up in a ditch making history. Division and religion isn't working. The only way to show God our faith and love is through our actions. Our convictions is the only thing that really unite us. One God, one nation, different beliefs. There's words that can't fly with the wind. There's insults that are not violent. Meanwhile, while you're home to them, they're killing you on the inside. If I was to tell you that I didn't hurt, I would be lying. Would you believe me if I was to tell you that there's truths that lie, especially when they're telling you that they're indifferent? Getting shoved to the side because you're different. There's a hug out there someone didn't receive today. Probably because of what was said about them yesterday. Probably because of the way they was dressed today. Not realizing that the one that they hate could be the one that saves their day. But you know what? Thanks to them, it's another day in history where you get to flip the pages to your book and speak your story. And Lord, it's unholy. But you know what hurts the most? As I walk down the street and I see how easily we're divided. When we all should be united. One body, one mind, one soul, a million talents. Lord, without you, we're all divided. Forgive them, Lord, for they don't know any better. They don't know that there's someone out there that loves them. People nowadays just don't care. They don't know there's someone out there that loves them.
State not to file the charges. Look, the message has been sent to this defendant. The message has been sent that crude hyperbole, this isn't a joke, I agree with you. That's not a joke to say what you said, but crude hyperbole, things like that, they are not criminally prohibited. True, real threats are. And it'd be my goal to distinguish a true threat versus protected speech. And in this particular case, essentially what she should argue is that, look, basically, I sent out a mean tweet. I said things that I shouldn't have said. People go out and they say things on Twitter, on X, out in the media all the time that aren't viewed as true threats, that are threatening in nature. And really, you have to establish that imminent act of unlawful violence is going.
Man, what they wanted to do was cover the fact that they knew what was going to happen with Luigi Mangione, whatever his name is, Mangione, whatever, right? And you know, he was able to do what he was able to do. They seen the signs and they couldn't do nothing about it. Because like, damn, y'all was in touch with the mom 3 days prior, right? Okay, the mom put in a missing persons report, right? And y'all spoke to the mom. But y'all spoke to the mom asking her if she knew, you know, about her son's whereabouts and if she knew if this was her son. And she said she could picture her son doing that. That's why I like something's missing in this case with the Luigi Mangione. Like, yo, listen, if y'all give us the missing puzzle, you know, but y'all not the missing piece to the puzzle, y'all not gonna do that shit. Y'all not gonna sit here and just expose yourselves like that.
Going to come as a result of the threat, and the person who heard that threat believed that that violence was imminent. And here, the person who heard that threat, really, we don't even know where this person is. I'm sure if they walked across each other in a mall, they wouldn't even know who they were. And at the end of the day, you know, to prove the crime here, despite what she said, despite the threatening nature of what she said, they have to prove that it's an expression of the intent to commit an act of unlawful violence. And I think there's a distinction in this particular case.
So could there be a possibility that this woman could walk free? I don't think they're going to be able to charge this female because, you know, anybody can say anything out of anger. I mean, people do it here on social media a lot. I mean, people have lost their lives on social media because they said some stupid shit out their fucking mouths that they shouldn't have said. Sorry. Like, I mean, listen, excuse my French, but stuff like this, man. It gets you to think. Blessings, we on Lock Nation, guys. Make sure y'all go check out We on Lock Nation. Great conversations, great topics. You will not be disappointed. Yo, check him out. Yo, big shout out to We on Lock Nation. Yo, they will probably let her go so the public doesn't become more enraged. They probably will. That's what it's looking like. I mean, it wasn't really a threat, and she's not really a copycat. I mean, I would have thought that she sat here and she shot another CEO, you know, and made threats, but she didn't. All she did was, you know, spurred some shit at the heat of the moment. Huh.
Isn't part of this what the person on the other end of the line felt? I work at an insurance company. I see a CEO of another insurance company.
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube banning ad blockers? Like, chill, guys. Just use Pi. It's a free Chrome extension that's actually
company gets murdered on the street and the wording on the shell casings is similar. There was one word that was off, but we know what, you know, she was trying to say. And then I kick it up to my supervisor and I'm like, oh my God, this lady is saying she's using those words that the shooter in New York did. And everybody's freaked out and they're like thinking, oh my God, this lady's going to come here and you're
Oh, so the words that she said to the company was the same words that the CEO said. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, y'all helping him get, create fans. I mean, listen, when this man gets charged and put in jail, what makes y'all think that he's not going to have all these females trying to write him letters and stuff like that? It's a repeated cycle. I mean, y'all giving him all the fame. Y'all keep putting this, out there. Like, all right, we know what he did. Y'all say y'all got all the evidence, all the proof. Take his ass to court and put him behind bars and throw away the fucking key if that's what y'all want to do because he killed, a rich motherfucker. For real, for real. I wouldn't want to even imagine if it was somebody from the hood who did it. Shit.
Next. I mean, you're next. I mean, come on. I mean, that would be terrifying.
Look, and I'm sure it's not the first time that the person on the other end has gotten, cursed at, yelled at, or threatened by somebody who's not happy with the way their claim was handled. And I think you're right. In this world we live in right now, in the context of what happened to the CEO, in the context of all the animosity towards the healthcare industry, I get why this person reported it. I get why they reported it to the FBI. But in a purely legal context, when we analyze what she said in light of the First Amendment and the right to disagree, the right to say stupid things, the right to say, mean things to people versus criminalizing speech. And at the end of the day, that's really what the analysis for the legal perspective is. I don't think anyone would disagree with you that she was wrong for what she said. I don't think anyone would disagree with you that, especially considering the time we're in, knowing that this father, the husband, this man was assassinated walking down the street. No one would disagree that what she said was completely wrong. The question is, can she legally say it with the protections we have in this country of the First Amendment?
Well, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. I mean, they've basically said that. I mean, you can't do that, and they may think this is kind of what she did, but we're just going to have to see where the case goes from here. I do want to make it clear I've reached out to.
It seems like this lady got mad and she just started telling the people, from the healthcare industry, the truth. She probably felt like, okay, I see why this man did what he did, and I'm starting to feel the same way. That's why I said, my thing is, right, they're so focused on this man that they already got behind bars. Why don't y'all start asking these CEOs of these companies, what is y'all next move going to be now that y'all notice that the people are getting mad? People are getting furious about y'all policies. What are y'all going to, is y'all going to change your policies to better fit, your clients? Because what's crazy is, right, like I said earlier, I could understand why a lot of people are getting mad. Okay, they're rich, right? But these rich people are also working to get their money, right? We know a lot of rich people, scheme their way up the ladder, right? But there's a lot of people that earn their fucking bread to make it to the top, right? Even if you're in the hood, you can make it to that position. So like I say, you got to also, understand once you get out from that medical care, that healthcare they give you in the hood, and you got these, you got the money to sit here and maintain yourself and live in the suburbs, right? And own a couple companies and stuff like that, you will feel the same way. It's people in the hood that got regular insurances, right? And they got to go through shit. Certain operations they got to go through, and they don't get approved. They still got to put money out of pocket, but they don't got that money out of pocket, and they can't, so their surgeries get denied. That's why I said, shit, I'm glad it's not somebody from the hood, because I don't even want to imagine, what would happen if it was somebody from the hood. So it's like I could understand, a lot, but I still wouldn't paint Luigi Mangione or Mangoni, whatever his last name is, right, as a superhero. Because it's like it turns out that, we're missing something. If the mom wasn't under their policy, what is the reason behind him doing this in reality? The mom didn't even take up from the for the bull. So now I'm seeing like, ooh, that's what I was saying before, man. I gotta go deeper into it. I don't just want to say stuff just to say it because people are saying it. No, I gotta listen. I gotta do my research. Yo, this shit is crazy. Facts.
To Brianna Boston's attorney, and at the time of this recording, he has not responded to my email or my phone call. So, Anthony Rickman, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.
With Tire Price Match Guarantee, Chevy Certified Service will...
Okay. Policy Finder. I hope I said your name right. Shout out to him. He says he's a superhero to me because he was smart enough to know this will start a conversation about much needed healthcare. Refer. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion. I mean, you make a good point though. You make a good point. I still don't see him as a superhero, but you make a hell of a good point though. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. He has started something, a much needed conversation about the healthcare. And y'all see me like, listen, man, like I said, like I understand. So it's like, regardless of anything, I have a question. Was this more towards because of his mom, or was he in the policy with them? Because I heard somebody say earlier that it seemed like he had a surgery, right? So could it have been that he was in the policy? And if he was in the policy, I mean, he has every right to fight. Like I said earlier, though, there's other ways to go about this, not unaliving somebody. And now, you in jail for the rest of your life. I feel as though he could have went another way to make this go viral. You see, bring attention towards the healthcare. But, I'm not mad. Shit. I mean, you say he's a hero, but I don't disagree with what you're saying either. He did start up a whole, controversial conversation with the whole world. So, I mean, reform. Okay, that's what he was trying to refer. I was a little lost on that, but I appreciate. Shout out to Policy Finder, yo. Give me 1 second, guys. I wasn't supposed to shut that window down, but I did for some reason, right? Give me 1 second, yo. We're going to do one last video. Before we end this, and we're going to be talking about Blue Beam Project. So I would appreciate y'all if y'all share, right, this live. If y'all enjoy the stream so far, smash that like button for a shorty, man. Give me 1 second while I heat up my food. And I'll be right back. Shout out to Pink and Rag and Bone. That's a beautiful song, man. I had to put that on real quick. You know, a little quick break real quick. Let's get started on this, man. Listen. Oh, wrong presentation. Last time we spoke on something like this, they strike the shorty down. So make sure y'all share this video, man. Y'all enjoy the stream. Like it. But let's learn a little bit about what this Project Bluebeam is, right? So out of all the videos, right, that I've been looking at, that I've been sent, this is the video that has drawn my attention because this guy breaks it down. It seems they striked his ass down the first time he spoke on it. So he spoke on this Project Bluebeam before, and it turns out that it's about fake alien attacks and all that. I mean, I don't know what Trump has to do with this. I have a little video that I know I'm going to be reacting to this weekend that they sent. It's like a 2-minute video where Trump is speaking on the Blue Beam Project. So let's hear what he's got to say, right? And he's going to break it down for us. So if y'all haven't, I keep forgetting, right? Oh, there's not. Oh, yes, this is. But I still got to change. Let's switch you. Wait, let me like you right here real quick. Let me switch because I'm not dealing with these commercials.
This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by Delete Me. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but 2 quick things. One, this is us revisiting Project Bluebeam, but there's mostly new information in this.
So y'all see how he's saying revisiting. In the process, he's also going to tell y'all how they deleted his file. They got him, they're not pushing his videos out as they should. So I mean, he reacted to this before, and it looked like they struck his video down. So he uploaded this 2 months ago. So far, like I said, out of all the videos, he breaks this down pretty good, and it's not his first go around.
So if you saw the first episode, then this one is still worth watching. But you probably didn't see the first episode because it was demonetized and buried, which is why I'm taking another shot. Which leads me to the second thing. This is the YouTube-friendly version of this episode. There are about 2 minutes missing, and those 2 minutes are available on the version, the unredacted version that's on Patreon. And stop screaming. You're not missing anything.
Oh, I can find you on Patreon.
2 minutes at the very end, and has nothing to do with the story. It's really just me preaching, and the episode is probably better without it.
But if they want to support the channel, that would be okay.
Would you get out of here?
Maybe they could buy a Hecklefish mug or t-shirt.
Oh, that slowed it down?
That's enough.
Wait.
Terrible salesman.
I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just letting them know that there's another version, and if they want to check it out, they can. And why I'm covering this again, and you can't just stick your pin out.
Thank you. Hey, I like that. Wait. This show isn't news, it's entertainment. I don't know anything. I get things wrong. I'm just a guy who talks to a fish. Yo, who came up with that quote? Whoever, is you AJ? I don't know what your name is, but I like that. Whoever came up, I don't know nothing. Hey.
You're on your way to your assignment. You've worked the same job for 7 years. You didn't choose it, but they say it's important and you're well suited for it.
You talking too fast.
Everyone's occupation is assigned based on ability. To run society any other way would be chaotic, the way life was before the event. The event was the day everyone on Earth became a single society. You don't remember life before. Nobody does. The media reminds you of overpopulation, pollution, illness, and endless wars for resources.
You ain't lying.
The world was fractured into different states with different cultures, religions, and leaders. It must have been awful. These stories make you glad your memories weren't erased. The event saved humanity. Cities are calm and efficient. No borders, no conflicts. One global society, provided for and secure. Everything just works. But sometimes a memory will flash through your mind. Riots, violence, destruction, tension, anxiety. You push it away. Why think about the past when life is so much better now?
Man, let's just tell the world the truth. The world of AI is here. The world of AI is here, man. We talked about the AIs and all that for what? For like 2-3 months straight a while back. Like, that's what's coming. Listen. All this was talked about. People love bragging about the Bible so much. Wasn't this in the book of Enoch? Oh, it was taken from the Bible, so a lot of people didn't see that. But even though when they did learn about it, right, the only attention they got from it was the UFOs and this and that. I mean, listen, man. I know there's other beings out there, but it sure as hell ain't no little green aliens with big heads and chocolate eyes. All right? Like, oh my God, I don't know how to break this down to y'all, but give me 1 second, man. Give me 1 second. I have to do this. Because we know how YouTube is. So I'm glad I'm on my StreamYard. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder for purpose such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarships and teaching. Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on this video or any video, including the Writers for Life Brings You to Let's Talk About It podcast, do not reflects on the opinions of your shorty Racheal and the members of the Writer for Life podcast. Everything we talk about is allegedly and is our opinion. Our videos are not recommended for minors. Everything we talk about and do is meant for educational purposes and also entertainment. Please keep in mind that the majority of our videos are for educational purposes only. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch, thinking that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one. Nowadays, your friends turn into enemies and your family members are your biggest haters. You gotta watch it nowadays.
But some people can't let go. The event deniers. Bitter malcontents spreading disinformation that life was somehow better before. It's deplorable. Thankfully, these troublemakers who cling to the past disappear as soon as they're identified. Once all the event deniers are gone, we could finally be rid of that conspiracy theory. Shadow governments, secret technology, UFOs and aliens. Everyone knows none of that is real. No sane person believes the event was anything but a gift.
I'm listening.
And it definitely wasn't some conspiracy called Project Bluebeam.
You know something that I've learned though? Is that we live in a world that is full of, if you go to Google, Yahoo, XGeeves, any of these little, filters, search engines, my bad, I said filters. Any of these search engines, right? They'll, yo, you can find out our history. And my thing is, right, I thought that the Project Bluebeam was about the drones. I mean, I'm hoping they explain it here a little bit more, but I got 15 minutes into this. I like the way he breaks it down because I'm understanding it. Like the conspiracy theories about these, the ops and all that. So far, everything has, is it a conspiracy theory when it has been proven to be true? How is it still a conspiracy theory? My thing is, what is the deal with these drones going around? But I mean, I guess he's getting there. He's getting there. Blessings. We can't decipher what is real anymore, man. Listen, I'm with Commander on that real shit. Blessings, Lesby Journey. Blessings, how you doing, man? Make sure y'all go check out Lesby Journey, right? I love her channel. Make sure y'all go check it out. Make sure y'all sub up, share her videos. Man. Oh, let's continue. I'm sorry. I was in my head, but I don't think I could say what I was just thinking. Let's go.
Yeah, human, there you are. I need your help. Something strange is happening.
Stranger than a talking goldfish?
No, you idiot. Will you listen? It started at breakfast this morning. I was browsing the web, having a bowl of Mariner's Choice.
Whoa, you know that stuff is way overpriced, right?
Excuse me. Mariner's Choice is organic, non-GMO, and honest anal.
Artisanal.
What I say. Anyway, I'm scrolling through and getting ads for camel toe polish and beaver lotion, and then I got one for a crab cat home defense kit.
Those are oddly specific.
And here's an ad for 2-for-1 drinks at the Velvet Hoof. This thing knows everything about me.
Well, it sounds like data.
You say you was curious what I was thinking. Shit. Let me see how I could put this. I wonder if it's all connected to, how we in the middle of WW3. Could they possibly, try to really, turn these grids down like they're threatening to do? I mean, they're using all this UFO shit as a distraction and stuff like that. Little green aliens and stuff. And they're not even really, talking about bringing peace. I mean, I don't see, Trump no better than Kamala, but hey, that's who people chose. I mean, I'm not saying that his policy is all the way bad, but then there's a couple things in his policy that makes us look like we're going backwards in time. I mean, it's so much. And what's crazy is, what is the distraction behind, the little green guys and the UFOs? I mean, these UFOs, right, that they keep talking about so much. Why is it that the drones that be flying around look like the UFOs? I haven't seen no drones though. That's the crazy part. I'm in Philly. I mean, I don't know. Has anybody in Philly? I mean, where Lesby? Where are you from, Lesby? She said, Allentown. Oh, she in PA. She in Pennsylvania. See, and I haven't seen one in Philly yet. I'm gonna start. Yo, listen. When I was young, me and my brother had a telescope, and we used to sit. It's like these little roofs, right? You look out the window. There's like these little roofs, right? It's not the roof on the top, but it's like the little roof, right? We used to sit on the roof and look in the sky through the telescope to look at the stars to see if we could find the, we found the moon all the time, right? Obviously, we could see that. But we was always trying to see if we could find Pluto, Venus, Mars, and all them other planets. And we never found them looking through the telescope. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. But you could sure as hell see the sun and you could see the moon through that telescope. You could see all the stars and everything, but you cannot. Hold on. Let me turn my camera off. There you go. But I'm a little curious. I never saw UFOs in the sky and stuff like that. But the way Lesby saying that right now, she got me feeling like I'm about to go get me a telescope. She just had me, have a little throwback. Like, I really miss sitting on the roof watching the stars with my brother, yo. For real. Those are memories, yo, that can only stay memories now. Like, if I could just only do one throwback, like if I could just say abracadabra, bro, I need you to rise up from the ground, But yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna get on that roof and look up, man. I'm like, hey, Pops, I need you to go to Amazon. I need a telescope. Yo, I never found a planet though. That's the fucked up part about it. But Let's continue listening to this. My bad. He's supposed to be teaching us about Project Bluebeam. He's supposed to be breaking it down. My bad, not teaching us. Well, it's kind of teaching us, right? He is kind of teaching us. If he's breaking it down for us, man. Look, man, you got me thinking of the Word now, man. Shout out to the Word. Make sure y'all go check out the Word 9%. Yo, great conversations, great topics. You won't be disappointed, yo. And he will break anything down like you a kindergartner. Yo, this is crazy. I'll get back to comments in a second.
Information.
Oh, really? Is that what you think, Poirot?
Poirot.
He's a fictional detective from Agatha Christie's novel.
I know who he is. What do you want me to do?
You just tell me how to fix it.
Easy. Just use delete me.
Oh, I think you just poured me a fresh glass of sponsor.
I sure did. Delete Me is a hands-free subscription service that removes your personal information.
Commander Fonny.
Their team of privacy experts removes you from hundreds of data brokers all year long. And in just 7 days, you'll receive a detailed privacy report showing exactly
Lesbi is giving a different outlook on it.
Removed. Delete Me removes your personal data like phone numbers, addresses, and more. Plus, the monitoring system ensures that your data stays gone, repeating removals as needed. And here's the best part. With Delete Me, you're in control. You can make custom removal requests, tailoring your privacy protection to fit your needs.
Yeah, but how can I trust them to not sell my data like these other schmoes?
I don't want to hear about Delete Me.
By collecting only essential data needed for removal from data broker sites. The company operates independently, never selling user information.
Can we get back to the story?
Their mission is to keep private information private. To start protecting your data, go to joindeleteme.com/thewifiles and use code thewifiles to receive 20% off Delete Me consumer plans.
Use code thewifiles.
How can I do this on the phone?
I don't want anyone to know what websites I'm on.
You definitely don't.
Wait a minute.
What?
I just saw an ad for Sander. And here's one for Humphrey.
I don't know what Sander and Humphrey are.
And here's an ad for dudemingle.com.
Has Gertie been using your computer?
Look, I gotta go, right?
Sure.
I could fast forward like 3 times on the phone, but not here. Come on, man. Okay, hopefully you're done with the Delete Me. Come on.
Serge Manast wasn't the type of guy you'd
Here we
expect
go.
to become a global conspiracy icon. He was a journalist from Quebec, Canada.
Serge
He focused
Manast.
mainly on political
Did I say
commentary.
his name right?
In the early 90s, he didn't like where society was headed. Something was happening. In the early 90s, he didn't like where society was headed. Some conspiracy icon. He was a journalist from Quebec, Canada. He focused mainly
Serge Mon. I can't even get his name. See, he keeps doing it.
conspiracy icon. He was a
How you say his last name?
Serge Manast.
Serge Manast. Okay.
journalist from Quebec, Canada. He focused mainly on
Oh,
political
he's from
commentary.
Canada.
In the early 90s, he didn't like where society was headed. Something was happening. He could feel it, but he couldn't identify it. So he did some digging, and his fears were justified. He discovered a secret cabal of powerful elites controlling the world from behind the scenes. He called them the Shadow Masters. But you can substitute shadow government, deep state, military intelligence complex.
Illuminati.
Right.
Ew.
Whatever you want to call them, Serge Manast was determined to expose them.
Yeah, they
You know
like
about
that.
Don't get ahead of me.
No,
Project
no.
Bluebeam?
In 1994, he published a book about his investigation, Project Bluebeam, which outlines a detailed plan to create a one-world government and a new world order. And the plan is about to go into motion. NASA and the United Nations will be front organizations. The UN will allow the elites to influence every country.
Wait, so NASA's involved in this too? The elites, the Illuminati, all these heifers is in this shit? You okay? You need to go get some rest. Get some rest. I'm good for the night. You can watch from the phone. I know. All right, my bad. Let's continue.
On Earth, and NASA will create the technology to turn influence into control. Manast discovered that Project Bluebeam will create the biggest hoax ever conceived, using advanced.
I know my baby Pops got that hotline voice. They said his voice compared to your voice, his squeaky voice. Yeah, he got that hotline voice. I used to mess with him. What was it? What was it? I didn't even know what I was saying in the beginning until you broke it down. I was like, oh wait, I thought I was just, some hotline shit. Big fat daddy donkey dick. Yo, no, he got that deep voice. That's what I love about him, man. That deep voice. He could sing to me too. Shit. In your, huh? All right, babe. Yeah. I listen. He had that deep voice. All the men around me had that squeaky, that little boy voice. Man, I was 21 years old when I first met the bull. I was like, yo, what the hell? His voice was deep as shit. I was like, yes, but not like yes, like that. Like I was turned on or some shit. I didn't even know him in the beginning, but it's like, damn, okay, you got a manly voice. What the hell is wrong with these little niggas' voice? Fuck wrong with everybody? I be telling people I got a type and I got a preference. I know what I want. Yo. And it's rare to be having, to find a man with that deep, deep voice, like that voice that, when sometimes when you get a little loud, it be scaring people. I'm like, man, he's just a teddy bear. Y'all be thinking his roars like, I'm grizzly bear, polar bear type roars. Man, he is such a teddy bear with me, at least. Shit. They balls sing drop yet. Yo, I love my boo. That's my real boo right there. All right, that's my real boo right there. But let's get back to this. My bad. We went way off topic. Let's get back.
Manass discovered that Project Bluebeam will create the biggest hoax ever conceived. Using advanced technology and psychological manipulation, this illusion will be so convincing that it becomes the new reality shared by everyone on Earth, a reality controlled by an elite few. Project Bluebeam has 4 key goals to ensure everyone's primary allegiance is to the New World Order. First, destroy religion. Second, destroy national pride. Third, destroy the family. And fourth, destroy individual creative freedom.
Isn't that what they're doing right now?
Oh, this is already happening.
Right? I mean, I was just gonna say that that's already happening, and Tom McDonald's has it in all his lyrics. I mean, if y'all don't know who Tom McDonald's is, make sure y'all go check out Tom McDonald's. Yo, I love his music, yo.
As soon as his book was released, he was followed, surveilled, his phones were tapped, he was harassed, and then
Shit, I still
there
got
was a
that
knock
on the
on
screen.
door.
Ball sing drop,
Child Protective
yeah.
Services. They took his kids away.
What? Why?
Well, his children were homeschooled. The Canadian government didn't like this. They were taken from him and made wards of the state so they could receive a proper public education.
Run by the government.
Yep. He never saw them again. A few months later, in December, another knock on the door.
Pizza?
Police.
He get pizza. His little fish.
He was arrested for spreading misinformation.
It's been a long time since
Who was
Canadians had
arrested?
freedom of speech, huh?
Manass was questioned by police for hours and then spent the night in jail. Then, the very next day,
Yep, facts,
well,
Commander.
what usually happens to whistleblowers who expose secret government programs?
They write books and go on Joe Rogan.
No, I mean whistleblowers not for military intelligence.
I mean, they put the messages in the movies and in the shows along with the music. Is there something else that we don't know? I mean, come on. Give me the news. Stop having us guess.
Oh, this happens.
What was that? Did you sneeze?
What was that?
No.
He spit?
Don't you see me slicing my fin across my throat?
No, it's not even moving.
Hang on.
Unalive him.
How about this?
He's talking about oofing somebody.
Crib. Yeah, I might have to ease up on the Botox.
Yeah, you're not fooling anybody.
It's for my migraines.
So what happens to whistleblowers?
They get dead.
Yes.
Unalived.
The next day, Serge Manass was found dead in his apartment. The official report said he died of a heart attack. He was only 51 years old. His latest physical showed him in perfect health. 2 other journalists looking into Project Bluebeam also had sudden heart attacks, though they had no history of heart problems. So we know the goals of Project Bluebeam.
So what happens? They look at the script, man. You know what? I think my biggest worry isn't about getting mistaken for an immigrant and getting deported. I think my biggest worry should be, Rachel, watch what you say online, because they, you might come across something and you just might, like the little fishy said right there, like oh snap, like oof, my poor little throat, my little throat, it's not gonna be alive no more.
One world government, one world religion, one national identity, and the erosion of the family in favor of the state. Those are big goals. Big goals require bold moves. The Shadow Masters know this. And it all starts with an earthquake.
Wait, Shadow Masters like on some ninja movie?
The elites behind Project Bluebeam know that implementing a one-world government requires everyone to share a single set of values. That makes the population much easier to control. Project Bluebeam achieves its goal in 4 steps. Step 1, create a single religion where everyone worships the same God, the God they create. Serge Monast called this the New Age religion.
Aren't they already doing that?
That the New Age religion is the very foundation for the New World government, without which the dictatorship is completely impossible. That is why the Bluebeam Project is so important to them. It has been so well hidden until now.
How do you destroy all religions? Well, find new archaeological artifacts that discredit them. Produce hard physical evidence as proof that their doctrine is wrong. It wouldn't be the first time that religion was impacted by a new discovery. The Dead Sea Scrolls. For hundreds of years, the Bible was thought to be complete. Then in 1947, a shepherd finds some clay jars in a cave, and suddenly there are new religious texts like the Book of Jubilees, the Wisdom of Solomon, and the Book of Tobit.
Scrolls that they sit here and they rewrite and, you know, twist and do what they want as they please when they rewriting these scrolls. I mean, we've already seen that. I mean, something new?
Yeah, and the Book of Enoch.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The Book of Enoch, link below. It's got giants, it's got angels, it's got the Great Flood, it's even got Anunnaki.
Anunnaki? What in the world is that?
Didn't fundamentally change religion, but it did cause scholars to ask,
Anunnaki.
Imagine an earthquake in the Middle East, which reveals hard evidence that Jesus never existed. Chaos. Or an earthquake that reveals technology buried for 2 million years that proves human DNA was engineered by aliens or another advanced race.
Yeah, Anunnaki.
This damn fish.
Anunnaki.
Anunnaki.
That would completely undermine not just the story of creation, but also debunk evolution. Project Bluebeam will fabricate any evidence necessary.
Commander, I'm slow. Listen, I could be honest enough to say I'm slow sometimes, and I could never find another human being on this planet to be as slow as me. You talking about the son of the God of the sun, the creator of all gods, the father of all gods, allegedly.
Necessary to discredit every religion on the planet.
Allegedly,
and they'll hide that evidence in an earthquake. If the right artifact were discovered, it would cause chaos within every faith. But what about people who don't belong to a religion or don't believe in God? Project Bluebeam addresses this in step 2, the step where we get a new God.
What? Okay. See, I know God exists, but I'm not into no religion. So what, y'all got something prepared for people like us too? Because we don't have a religion? Oh, what is it? Tell me.
Project Bluebeam's step 2. Manast calls it the big space show in the sky, but it's so much more. He discovered that NASA and a few intelligence agencies developed the technology to project 3D holographic images into the sky. I say into because the system uses a combination of satellites and ground-based systems to manipulate the ionosphere. You don't need a screen. Images can be projected onto the particles in the atmosphere. The projections will appear so lifelike that people will believe they are witnessing a miracle. The dominant god of each region will appear in the sky. Imagine looking up and seeing Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, all speaking to their followers in their own language. Their god will tell them their beliefs are all wrong, then will slowly morph into a new god. This is the first appearance of the new Messiah, God of the New World Order.
The projections of Jesus,
New World Order,
Buddha, and Krishna will merge into one, and explanations of mysteries and revelations will be disclosed. This one God will, in fact, be the Antichrist, who will explain that the various scriptures have been misunderstood and misinterpreted, and that the religions of old are responsible for turning brother against brother and nation against nation. Therefore, old religions must be abolished to make way for the new age, new world religion, representing the one God Antichrist they see before them.
Debunking old religions will be enough to convert some people to this new one. Giant deities appearing and then converging into one antichrist will convert a lot more. But these technologies won't work on everybody. Non-religious people will be terrified for sure, but they won't suddenly believe in a god based on a hologram, no matter how real it looks. The Shadow Masters know that. The
Shadow
Masters
Masters.
know that to create
I
a
feel like
world
I'm
of
in a kung
government
fu
and
movie
single
right now.
religion, they need 100% of the population to believe. But you can't force a religious belief on somebody. They need to make the decision themselves, or at least be convinced they made it. The elites know this. That brings us to step 3. If you're not convinced by what you see, they'll use technology to broadcast the message directly into your brain. You may not realize it, but
Okay,
this
what
technology is being used on you right now.
I'm listening.
When the new God appears in step 2, you'll hear him speaking whether you believe in him or not. And you won't be
The
able to
new
escape
God?
his voice because you're not hearing it through your ears. His voice is coming from your mind. The third step of Project Bluebeam is mind control.
Kind of like Tom McDonald.
They'll
Right
use
now.
electromagnetic waves to interfere with brain function. They can shape perceptions, create emotions, and influence beliefs.
The third step in the Bluebeam project uses electronically augmented two-way communication, where ELF, VLF, and LF waves will reach each person from within his or her own mind, convincing each of them that their own God is speaking to them from the very depths of their own soul.
Oh, wow.
Rays from satellites are fed from the memories of computers that have stored massive data about every human on Earth and their languages. The rays will then interlace with their natural thinking to form what we call diffuse artificial thought. That kind of technology goes into the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s research where the human brain has been compared to a computer. Information.
So they've been doing research since the 80s all the way up to the late 90s on our brains. I mean, if we're not going into a hospital for them to check our brains, what they got something what through the cameras on our laptops and phones or what? How they researching our brains without us being there? I mean, I know the phones got these little apps now, right? That, when you do the workouts and stuff, you could put your thumbs and stuff and it could check your rate, your heartbeat, allegedly. But I don't trust that, John, to be accurate. It's an app. My brain is hurting.
Is fed in, processed, integrated, and then a response is formulated and acted upon.
We know for a fact that the U.S. military and intelligence have experimented with mind control. We know they used sound waves in the Vietnam War to make the enemy anxious without knowing why.
The sound waves. Yo, my baby pops was talking about that on the very first podcast. How they manipulate people, how they brainwash people is through sound waves. That's how they're able to get through people's heads using the music. And certain artists, certain celebrities have talked about the sound waves, how they use it to draw people's attention from, through the music. And you know what's crazy? The R&B rapper, I don't know what he was, XXXTentacion did an interview too where he was talking about the sound waves and how it was used, in the music to manipulate people into liking even the worst of songs. Yo.
The CIA used these and all kinds of other methods to scramble
He said
people's
CIA?
brains
Damn.
and program them to be sleeper agents.
Link down in the breadbasket, Chief.
He said a sleeper agent? We in the Matrix?
The government uses EM waves for all kinds of dark purposes. They've patented a device that can trigger emotions in a target from a half-mile away.
Patent.
But it's really
oh snap! Isn't that what Papa Duck was talking about? Patent.
Scary about the patent is that it claims it can piggyback its signal onto any frequency. That would mean we can never escape it. Everything that uses electricity has an electromagnetic field. Think you're safe living off the grid? Nope. Radio signals can bounce off the ionosphere and reach anywhere in the world. The fourth and final stage of Project Bluebeam is the most.
So you're telling us that we're gonna have to live like in that movie Silent, or is it Silent? Yeah, where they have to, be quiet, walk around with earbuds, but they can't really walk around with the earbuds because they gotta listen to their earbuds. No, that has to do with monsters. We have to there's a movie, but it's not Silent. It's kind of like the movie Silent. or they have to walk around with buds in their ears because the noise. What is it called? When I remember, I'll tell y'all. Right now, I guess y'all sound waves is giving me a headache.
Sinister. Serge Manasse predicts a universal supernatural manifestation with electronic means.
Facts, Commander.
In other words, an alien invasion. The elites will promise to unite and defend the world against our common enemy. But to do that, they'll need emergency power. But it's only temporary, so we won't resist authority. We'll beg for it.
One is to make mankind.
Tell me these damn UFOs that they keep trying to tell us that they're UFOs don't look like these damn drones.
Believe that an alien invasion is about to occur.
This looks like a spaceship to me.
Every major city on Earth, in order to provoke each major nation to use its nuclear weapons in order to strike back. The United Nations Court will require that all nations which launch nuclear weapons disarm when the invasion is shown to be false. And how will the United Nations know that the invasion was false? They will have staged it, of course.
That's why I said no. It's another movie like Silent. In this movie, right? They had to put earbuds on, right? Because the noises that was being thrown out by the waves would manipulate them, right, and make them act different. If they heard the sounds, right, and that's how they was transforming, turning into like zombies or some shit like that. It was and you know what's crazy? It's a Chinese movie at that. I'm not sure if it's Chinese, Japanese, or Korean, but it's a foreign movie. And I forgot what it was, but I know the noises, they had to block out the noises because whenever they heard it, it would send a wave of noise into their brain. That's why I said, regardless of anything, when you hear it, that's how it gets to your brain. Like, so we're going to have to be walking around to block all types of noise and everything. Like, that shit is crazy. That's why I was like, I kind of get what he's saying. That's why I said there's messages in these fucking movies. Like the sound waves. That's why before he even said any of this, I was like, the sound waves. We talked about this on one of my very first podcasts, yo. And I'm not sure if I got the video uploaded. I probably do got the video already uploaded on here. Y'all might have to go to one of them, to the beginning. Because I think my baby Pops and Young Bulls was talking about it.
Subsequently, I found out that up at Kennebunkport, there were all these UFOs zipping around when Bush was up there out on a cigarette boat. And they didn't realize they were ours. So now we're getting into false flag 101.
A
False flag 101?
Attack.
Oh.
Use holographic projections as well as real man-made craft designed to look and move like UFOs. And here's the twist.
Oh, wow.
The groundwork for this deception is being laid right now. All my life, UFOs and aliens were a fringe topic. When Serge Manasse made his predictions, they were a fringe topic. Yet somehow he predicted that high-profile people from the military would come forward with claims of alien encounters,
They're already doing
crashes,
that.
and hidden government projects. He warned that whistleblowers aren't telling the truth, they're spreading disinformation. They're slowly bringing the subject of UFOs out of the fringe and into the mainstream.
That there is an overarching agenda that was hashed in between 53 and 56 to create the specter of a threat from outer space that does not exist.
And he said the best way to cause all people in the world to come together in one world government and end war forever would be if we were attacked by some other species from some other planet. And boy, that just clicked with me, and I knew that that this is just another scam. This is the age of deception. There's no doubt about it. Age of deception, age of deception, age of deception, age of deception, age of...
On June 28, 2001, Bill Cooper said the U.S. would stage a false flag attack on a major city and blame Osama bin Laden, a name unknown to most Americans. I mean, I know who Osama bin Laden is. Oh, wow. So, wait. So everything we know about Osama bin Laden was false? I mean, I was a kid when this happened. So Osama bin Laden, when I think, who was it? George W. Bush? Well, somebody. He's talking about 2001. Who was the president? I can't even remember. Damn. But I know about the Osama bin Laden situation. And I guess, yeah, that's why he's saying a name unknown to most Americans. So I'm guessing he's talking about around that time. I mean, let us shorty know what y'all think so far about what's being said.
Age of deception, 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 age of deception.
Facts, Commander. 6 weeks after that, Bill Cooper was killed in a shootout with authorities trying to serve him a warrant. Only one crime in America carries penalties more severe than murder. Oh, wow. I don't know. I didn't know about Bill Cooper. I'm definitely... I got so many lives to react to, yo. Tax evasion. Oh, they hit him with the Trump. A tax evasion. Oh, wow. The same thing they hit Trump with, saying that he didn't pay his taxes and stuff like that.
He releases videos of UFOs, and Congress holds hearings. And the news reports all this with a straight face. This is all very new. By spreading the idea of non-human biologics with advanced technology, the elites behind Project Bluebeam are creating a narrative that will feel completely logical once the attack happens. Manas's theory goes on. The invasion will begin with staged UFO sightings over major cities, causing mass panic. Governments around the world will issue warnings of an impending global catastrophe. They'll ask permission for something unthinkable and will say yes.
Kind of like what's happening now. They're saying they're seeing drones flying around different cities and UFOs. I mean, for the past 2 years, they've been talking about UFO sightings. Could those UFOs have been like drones up in the sky? Because, they got different size drones. I hope y'all know that. Different size, different shapes. I mean, I know there's no damn UFO. Could they build a little spaceship that looked like a UFO? Could they build a UFO, but in reality be like a little spaceship that they're able to fly like they do with these other things, man? Let's continue. We know the world is a stage. They'll fly up, try to break the firmament, they say, then it'll fall back down.
Nuclear weapons will be deployed in a desperate battle for survival against alien forces. Can you imagine what it would be like if the skies were full of UFOs, fighter jets, and nuclear explosions? I mean, really think about it. That would be so terrifying that people would gladly give up freedom in exchange for survival. So the nations of the world will unite into a central one-world government. It's the only way to protect humanity from further alien incursions. The false flag invasion will unite humanity. But more than that, it will...
Commander, these touchy subjects, people are scared to touch.
Change our entire worldview. It will redefine what we believe is possible. Now we'll believe anything. The final step of Project Bluebeam seeks to turn that belief into a tool of absolute control.
So I guess we're going through the final step of Bluebeam now. So this is not a project that Trump just came up with, right? And is trying to push on us like people are saying. This seems like a project that has been going on for years, along with the MK Ultra and other types of projects. Now, I know about the MK Ultra. I know about a couple other projects. But damn,
Once the threat is over and the population is calm, using a combination of holographic technology and radio waves, everybody's brains will be wiped. We'll have no memory of what came before this event. This will be done by building upon CIA brainwashing techniques developed and perfected during MK Ultra. Then with every mind on Earth a clean slate, the New World Order can begin. Families will be dissolved because you don't know who your family is. You only know the information being transmitted to you by Project Bluebeam. So you go along willingly and peacefully.
Oh shit. So this is gonna make you forget your loved ones? Oh wow. Shit, I've already caught amnesia.
The Shadow Masters will have boots on the ground ready to go. Men, women, and children around the world will be lined up and inventoried. You might not remember who you are, but they will. They'll know where you live, what you did for a living, who your family is, and most of all, they will know what you own. Cars, homes, money, every asset you have will be accounted for. Your assets will be seized because you don't know what your assets were. And you'll be assigned housing and a job because you don't remember where you lived or what you did. But you won't work for money. You don't need money. Everything you need is provided for you. You feel like this is how life should be. Any other way of life sounds primitive and chaotic. All the wealth in the world belongs to a very select few people. They retain their memories and they live in luxury.
Like in the
And they know that
movies.
as long as they keep the population fed, meaning fed food and fed propaganda, people will comply. And anyone who doesn't, they quickly disappear. All homes and businesses will have cameras and microphones. It's illegal to tamper with these. Finding dissenters is easy. You just watch, wait, and act. Within 2 generations, the New World Order will seem perfectly natural. Dissenting wouldn't even make sense.
Dissenting? Yo, he's making me feel like
By
we're in
then,
the
children aren't
Matrix.
born to parents. Everyone is sterilized at birth. The Shadow Masters keep tight control on population growth.
Everyone
Children
is
are
sterilized
created
at birth.
by DNA genetically optimized for desirable qualities like submissiveness, agreeability, and lack of curiosity. They are incubated, educated, and assigned a role in society.
Babies
When they're no
born in
longer
labs.
useful, they're euthanized. This will seem humane. Letting someone live for years sick and old will seem cruel, and that's the cycle. The architects of the New World Order have finally achieved the utopia they've always wanted. Now, Surgeman Ass has attracted plenty of critics and skeptics. Some people call him a kook. Other people call him a prophet.
Now he's kind of reminding me of the movie Aliens, and there's a couple other movies here. Like, it's the messages they give through. But who wants to live in a world like that where you can stay alive for so long? Listen, man. I don't know what to say. Me personally, I think some people are sick. They trying to be God. A lot of people is trying to like really be God. Why not just live? Love, have some peace. That's the problem. We just can't have none of that. People just want to come up with a whole bunch of crazy shit. But once again, this is a project that has been around for years. We've been nothing but guinea
Unfortunately, we won't
pigs.
know who's right until it's too late.
That don't remind me of Demolition Man without the cyborgs and robots.
Project Bluebeam claims NASA and the UN plan to fake an alien invasion using mind control and holograms to create a new god, then scare people into accepting a one-world government. Great story. But is it true? Well, I can't debunk a secret government program because it's secret, but we can break down Project Bluebeam to see if it's even possible.
Is it?
Step 1 is earthquakes. Do we have the technology to create them on demand? We do. We do this all the time by fracking for oil. The number of earthquakes of a 3.0 magnitude or higher in Oklahoma went from an average of 2 per year in the 2000s to over 800 in 2015, induced by fracking. So the technology is here.
I mean, so is you trying to say what a lot of us have been thinking for the longest? That the earthquakes are created when y'all go out there digging for oil and gas and all that type shit. And I guess y'all touch something y'all shouldn't be touching, and boom, here we go. We got earthquakes, huh? I mean, I'm just asking. It's just a little random thought.
The problem is it can't be done in secret. You need huge crews of people and loud, heavy machinery. They couldn't hide it. Step 2, global holograms of gods and UFOs. This tech doesn't exist. Nothing even close to it does.
Yeah, but the military is always 20 years ahead.
Maybe, but it would use so much power, you'd have to dedicate the entire energy industry to it. All oil, gas, coal, and nuclear energy has to go into this one single project. Word would get out. Step 3, mind control, using electromagnetic waves.
That they do got.
This tech exists, but it's not really mind control. It can affect moods, cause anxiety, make people sick.
Thank you.
Kill them. But you can't implant messages or create sleeper agents.
Yeah,
I knew I wasn't tripping.
Well, if they are, they'd be breaking the law.
Oh, my mistake, of course. The CIA would never break the law.
Right, fishy. That little fish on point.
Invasion, even without holographic technology, could be done. All you need is a story and a compliant media to push it.
UFO sightings
Television.
security threat. The things that they came up against were potentially so advanced that they posed an existential threat to the United States.
Well, we already have that.
We do, and that's too bad. The founding fathers gave the press special protections to watch politicians. Instead, the press gives special protections to the politicians so they can watch us. That's dangerous because the United States has a dark history of false flag operations. Remember Operation Gladio?
Link right down in your honeypot.
The CIA and Mafia teamed up and armed Italian terrorists to kill civilians and blame the communists. Or Operation Northwoods in 1962. The Defense Department planned to attack Americans and blame Cuban terrorists. Then they'd invade Cuba. And thank goodness JFK said no. He stopped trusting the military intelligence state after the Bay of Pigs.
Hey, and how'd that work out for him?
Not
so good. No wonder they was after him.
JFK didn't want war. So he was replaced by a president who did, Lyndon Johnson, who presided over the Gulf of Tonkin incident, a false flag operation where the U.S. Navy claimed it was under attack by North Vietnam. Now, this is still controversial to say, but I don't care. It's the truth. The U.S. government lied.
They found a puppet master that was willing to sit here and pull the strings off the backs of the people that were willing to be manipulated. That's what it was.
To drag us into the senseless Vietnam War.
What I want is somebody that can lay up some plans to trap these guys and whoop hell out of them.
Blessings, Cuban Crisis or Chris.
I'll try and bring something back. We'll meet that objective.
One telegram, which we later found from Commander Herrick of the Maddox, had been made available to the committee at that time. I'm quite sure they would have had long hearings, gone into it thoroughly, and if they'd been able to discover the facts as they actually were, I don't believe it passed resolution because it was based upon absolutely false, erroneous information.
50,000 Americans dead, 300,000 wounded. For what? To enrich weapons manufacturers and chemical companies? Really? But that's the theme of this episode. To achieve their goals, whatever they are, the power structure has to deceive us.
Hey, they got Hillary Clinton in there, John?
Back to the UFOs, the whistleblowers. I take a lot of heat for openly saying I don't trust them. Everything they say is approved by the Pentagon. That doesn't mean what they say is true. It means the Pentagon wanted them to say it. That's a great opportunity for deception. David Grush heard from a guy who knew.
So is he trying to say that we shouldn't trust the whistleblowers? What actually does happen to these whistleblowers when we don't hear from them again? Are they actually risking their lives like we thought they was? How far deep down the rabbit hole do I have to go to find out about the whistleblowers and their ties to the government?
Knew a guy who worked with another guy who said he saw UFO wreckage. What?
Dave then went to the Defense Office of Pre-Publication Security Review, the DOPSA office inside the Pentagon, and he asked for permission to talk about what he knows, or what he says he knows. And they've given him permission to talk about crash retrievals.
Did we learn it?
But they act like they don't give them permission.
Luis Elizondo was in charge of ATIP, but the Pentagon said he wasn't. Then he said they're smearing him. Then they said, well, he worked as a contractor, but not ATIP, and on and on and on. Which side is telling the truth? We don't know, but one side is using deception. Elizondo said he resigned because he was frustrated with the government's lack of transparency about UFOs. Great. That's what we need, that kind of bravery. Okay, tell us what's going on. What'd you see? What do we have? Well, he said, well, I have to be careful about what I say.
So they made it very clear to me that I have to be very careful not to talk about something that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Oh, but there are more details in my book.
Whatever's in there is clear.
Oh, look, I want to believe these guys. But as they say, I've been hurt before. Air Force intelligence, where both men spent many years, specializes in deception.
Mirage.
We started slowly convincing him, or not really convincing him, but just giving him the idea that this might be just UFOs, extraterrestrials. And he ran with that. I have to be careful. Is it possible? And I'll be very careful what I say. Hey, I just tapped into a secret laser on Kirtland Air Force Base. Obviously, we can't have that happen. So all I had to do was say, well, you know what, Paul? Maybe what you did see was UFOs.
There's a place near Culpeper, Virginia called The Farm, and people are go there to be trained, to be professional disinformation, basically how to lie well.
There's techniques that we use, that we're trained to use in gaining that person's confidence. And I use those techniques against Bill Miller and agreeing to say things that we wanted said regarding the UFO community or within the UFO community.
When you see people on CNN or CBS 60 Minutes, the folks that they will allow to talk about it are people that have been cherry-picked by this cabal, the secret government group, to say what they're told to say. It's scripted. I want to be careful.
So whistleblowers are not really whistleblowers. They're not really exposing nothing. They're just reading off a script. So what does happen to them when they disappear? Or when we're told that, you know, they've been... I'm just wondering. What happens to the whistleblowers, right? Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder for purposes such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarships and teaching. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this video or any video, including the Writers for Life Brings You to Let's Talk About It podcast, do not reflects on the opinions of y'all shorty Racheal and the members of the Writer for Life podcast. Everything we talk about is allegedly and is our opinion. Our videos are not recommended for minors. Everything we talk about and do is meant for educational purposes and also entertainment. Please keep in mind that the majority of our videos are for educational purposes only. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch, thinking that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one. So far, what I've gathered from all this is that we so shit, it started off with our parents. See how we're talking about chill.
Careful that I don't, because again, I haven't had what I have approval to talk about. I gotta be careful. I don't want to. Yeah, and again, I got to be careful because some of that stuff I haven't been cleared to talk about.
Do you have any examples of those?
Yes,
Of course. Nick Pope, Lou Elizondo, Chris Mellon, all those guys.
Okay. Again, I got to be careful exactly what I say, but
They have been, I know for a fact, been told what to say.
I'm still advising the U.S. government on this.
You still consult with the government. You still have a security clearance. So,
and I'm trying to carefully message this, and on occasion, I still will consult for the U.S. government, 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 the U.S. government.
So let's assume.
So I don't get it, right? They ask for permission to say all this stuff, right? Well, what is it that they're not allowed to tell? That's what I'm thinking. So what is a whistleblower really exposing if they're not actually exposing what they're supposed to be exposing? All they exposing is not the story that they either made up or the government wrote down and act out.
Elizondo is telling the truth. He said UFOs are a real threat to our national security. That's a serious statement to make if it's not true. But remember, Serge Manasse said that's all part of the plan, to convince us through deception that UFOs are a threat. So is Project Bluebeam happening? Well, Serge Manasse's story is complicated. The government did harass him, arrest him for misinformation, and he died the next day. It sounds like a conspiracy. But he loved Star Trek, and he called Project Bluebeam Star Trek technology. Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, released the plot of an unreleased movie called The God Thing. It was eventually used for a Next Generation episode called Devil's Due. An alien uses technology to pose as a god and enslave a planet. She even uses mind control and holograms.
Oh no, when did this guy release his book?
About 18 months after that episode aired.
Oh.
Right. Project Bluebeam sounds like science fiction because it probably was. But that doesn't mean there's nothing to the story. The world the elites want to create is exactly how Project Bluebeam describes. And it's already happening. They're already merging economies, cultures, and governments. That's globalism. The Council on Foreign Relations, Bilderberg Group, Trilateral Commission, WEF, Davos. These are globalists, and they're not looking out for us.
Illuminati Volume 1 link down in the click hole.
Globalism, if done right, could help poor countries benefit from wealthier ones. There could be better cooperation, easier trade, cultural exchange, fewer wars. Sounds good. But their vision is more like Serge Manasse's prediction. Centrally planned government, a single currency, controlled wages and prices, assigned jobs, no private property, and depopulation. They downplay their more extreme plans. Deception. And the rules they want to impose on us to implement their vision, well, those rules don't apply to them. They want us to drive electric cars and take public transportation. They fly on private jets and are driven around by a fleet of Range Rovers. They want to install devices in our homes to limit the energy we use for heating and cooling, but keep their 5 houses at perfect temperature year-round. They want us to eat a plant-based diet.
And bugs.
And bugs, they really do.
How can we grow nutritious and sustainable food that supports healthy and productive lives with far fewer resources available? Insects are among the most abundant and nutritious animals on the planet.
But when these people get together, they go through a lot of steak and lobster. Greenpeace says that Davos is a distasteful masterclass in hypocrisy. And people often call out this hypocrisy. But here's what...
Imagine, just brush over what you just said. They want us to eat healthy, right? But they got us eating all this stuff. But you know what's crazy? It's not wrong. Half the food in these markets ain't nothing but air and ink. And what I mean by that, they're food right? And they passed a little policy, law, bill, whatever you want to call it, right? While they had us distracted with the sinking submarine and 5 rich people that passed away. But I'm glad they did that because that got me, deeper into what's going on. I mean, I'm not glad that what happened happened. Let me rephrase that before anybody takes that long. What I'm saying is that I'm glad that they put it out there like that the way they did, because it's crazy is right, but people don't pay attention to how they take small things. They was exposing. And what's crazy is right, all this leads back to the Titanic, right? And if you go back to Titanic, right, all that happened to the predator preserve. If y'all don't believe me, you got the upload, right? The live, it's up there. Just have to go back to the hard times. Oh wait, I was having no sound? Hold on, let me see. Yo, I'm hoping Mike is messing with. I'm hoping that the mic is fixed. But like I said, this right here, watching this leaves me questioning so much, and it's gonna leave me in a long dive down the rabbit hole, searching about the whistleblowers. What's crazy is that I really thought that I'm not talking about the ones that talk about UFOs, but I mean, does this include all whistleblowers? Even the ones that don't talk about the aliens and the UFOs, how about the ones that are exposing the medical industry and stuff like that? I mean, because now he's got me here really second guessing these whistleblowers. But then again, he said whistleblowers have to go to the government and ask permission to be able to speak on, right? My thing is, when y'all say that y'all got to make sure what y'all talk about and don't say too much. What is it too much? What is too much? And like, if it's a script, is it a script for everything? Once again, y'all still having issues? Wait, you can't hear me at all? Let me see. I don't know. I just put it on the phone. All right. I'm hoping that y'all can hear me. But yeah, once again, watching this video has got me second guessing a lot of stuff. I don't know how y'all feel. I don't know how y'all feel, but let's see what else he's got to say. Yo, this got me looking at everything like,
What everyone misses, they don't see themselves as hypocrites. They need more resources because they're more important than us. They can't spend all day at an airport waiting in security lines and dragging bags and dealing with flight delays. They're so busy saving the world, they have to be exempt from the rules. And most of these elites aren't evil people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really, most are not. They want a cleaner, safer, and better world for everyone. They want to feed starving children. They want older people to live in dignity. They don't want anyone to live in poverty. Noble goals. Their solution? A rental-based economy for housing, food, and everything.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Right. Ida Aukens said at the World Economic Forum in 2016, the state would own all resources, and we just subscribe to them. Sharing and limiting access to resources would cut waste and pollution.
You want the function, you want the service, right? Why do you want to own a cell phone if you can just lease it? And if you lease, why shouldn't you lease your refrigerator or your washing machine or your dishwasher, or why do you want to own it?
And you don't want to own a home.
Secure a mortgage, buy a ton of furniture, and spend long hours on upkeep and renovation once in a while. Why make all these commitments? Life is full of surprises.
Renting gives you more freedom and less responsibility. And if the state controls resources, they'd be shared more fairly. They would limit access for some people in order.
that's backwards. I prefer to own a home. I mean, and own a home where I don't have to pay taxes, mortgage, or none of that. Why would I want to rent? That means that all my hard-earned money is going towards, somebody else. It's like, for example, if I had my own little land and a house and stuff like that, which is my own property, right? I'll be able to, grow my own fruits, grow my own veggies, have my own little animals around, grow my own trees. Who wants to keep living the way that we live in now, especially with the economy going up? Who wouldn't want to, own their own property, their own land? This is backwards.
In order to give access to others.
From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs.
Exactly. Karl Marx said that.
I guess.
That resource rental economy idea is just another flavor of communism. But they present it as this grand plan that would make everyone's lives better. Their presentation is deception. We know what would happen. We'd have to contribute our private property, but the elites wouldn't. They're too important. They're doing this for the greater good. That's not evil. That's just arrogance. Project Bluebeam is a warning. Don't be deceived into accepting globalism. The WEF has backed away from the own nothing and be happy idea, but only after they were called out on it. They liked it before. That's deception. To accept their vision for a new world, existing institutions like religion, family, and patriotism need to be completely dismantled. Most of us don't want this. So the message has to be delivered as a subtle deception. Like maybe you can slip it into pop culture.
Let the past story. I've read humanity's story.
Resident Evil?
So now I'm erasing them.
I will shred
Wait,
this universe
Marvel?
down
What's
to its
this?
last atom.
Oh, wow.
To then create a new one.
That the old ways serve us no longer.
The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
Kill it if you have to.
Karl Marx said that the old ways have to be torn down, and the only way to do it is by force. That's the only way.
There is only one way in which the murderous death agonies of the old society and the bloody birth throes of the new society can be shortened, simplified, and concentrated. And that way is revolutionary terror.
And look, this episode has nothing to do with politics. It's about the powerful using deception to take advantage of the powerless. You can be a communist, or a socialist, or a capitalist. I'm a little bit of all those. But most of all, I'm a realist. Believe whatever you want. Just be honest about it. All systems are flawed because we are flawed. When ideologues claim their system is fair, they're lying. Communism isn't fair, but neither is capitalism. Socialism isn't fair, and the free markets aren't fair. No fair system exists because some people will always take advantage and will always want more. They know this, so they deceive us.
We let it happen.
Project Bluebeam may never happen, but the tools to control perception are here and being used against us every day. So what can you do? Well, get your information from as many sources as you can.
So what he's trying to say is Project Bluebeam is an experiment that's been happening for years, but something that will not happen. How many of y'all believe that Project Bluebeam is something that, they might be able to accomplish? Like I said, all this seems like we're going backwards. And the only way that could happen is if we let it happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm delusional. I'm over here just talking some ish.
But know they all have an agenda and use subtle deceptions to manipulate you. When you hear kill the past or unburdened by what has been, that's Marx talking, but they won't admit it. It's deception, and I want you to recognize it. Once you learn all the subtle ways the powerful use deception, you'll be changed forever. The world goes from black and white to color. You can't ever be deceived again. And when you learn, teach the skill to your kids, to everyone you can. That's the only way to stop Project Bluebeam and every other plan that requires us to surrender our freedom to the powerful. More regular people, like you and me, have to recognize when we're being deceived and say no. Whether it's the media, politicians, or a giant god in the sky, more of us need to see the power structure for what it really is.
Something that's
an illusion. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
So Project Bluebeam is something that isn't real. I mean, it's so many projects out here. It's just an experiment, like I said. I mean, it's up to us. We could let these things happen, or we could just, keep standing up on what we believe in. But facts. That's why I wanted to see this from my own eyes, because I'm like, why is everybody so pressed about Project Blue Beam? I mean, everybody got drones. Be careful with these drones because you don't know, who's watching behind that drone. You got to be extra careful. You don't know if there's a stalker out here. Shit, Project Purge, we're in the middle of that one. I mean, for people, they be like, what you talking about? I call it Project Purge because it's like, y'all don't remember in 2023, they told us what they were going to do and it's happening. Y'all don't see the inmates being released. Y'all don't see the stuff that's happening around us, the crimes. I mean, I could just really go into it, but I gotta, I think I'm gonna have to write that down if I want to talk about it because I really don't want to strike. I just got a strike earlier for a video that I uploaded, and I was trying to see what happened. I was trying to fight the put in a disclaimer right for the video, and it didn't even give me the chance to put the disclaimer on. They talking about we will review. I'm saying like, yo, wait, how am I going to even sit here and argue with y'all telling me if I can't even put my disclaimer? Y'all just reviewed my John without me putting my disclaimer in it. So it's like I have to be careful on what the things that I talk about. Facts, and we can't be scared. That's why, listen, man, I be telling people I have no filters in my mouth, no hairs in my no hairs in my tongue, no filters in my mouth. I speak my mind and I'm bold. Like shit, this is crazy. There's nothing we can do but try not to believe everything and don't be scared. Take care of our family, live your best life. Bro, shit, man. I hear so many people say they want peace, but be in the midst of chaos. Man, I really just want some peace. I really do. That's why, like, on here on social media, I even start watching a lot of people. Like, either we going to be positive all the way or we going to be negative. Like, I don't know what it is with people nowadays that they have turned social media into some type of beef drama thing. We have enough beef and enough drama out here in the real world to have to sit here on social media and deal with drama. Like now, I just sit and chill on the panels where we learn something, or we're just talking. We're either talking about what's going on in our community, or we're talking about music, we're talking about celebrities, or we're just chilling and falling back. The environment is just cool. Like we could joke around, have some laughs, and there's no bullshit. Like it's like there are a lot of channels on here where everything seems cool for a minute, then out of nowhere it goes left. Like there's a few channels where I try to stay and watch and be like, okay, maybe this will be be over and done with fast, but now it's like the same cycle over and over. Yeah, I feel as though it's us who has to break these chains. Like we're the ones that are supposed to break free from the chains of society and be who we're supposed to be. But hey, a lot of us are still stuck in them chains, creating more chains to make these chains even tighter and longer. But like I said, change starts with us. I don't get tired of saying that, right? Um, I hope that y'all have enjoyed the stream. Let us sure to know what y'all think in the description. I mean in the comments down below for those of you catching the replay. I appreciate everybody that's been here. This long with a shorty, everybody was rocked out with a shorty. I know that, I bring about the conversations and the topics that are very touchy that people are scared of talking about, even touching on. Shit, we talk about it all here. So once again, I appreciate y'all. I hope all of y'all have a blessed and humble night, morning. Continue to have a blessed and humble night. And I'll see y'all on my next live, man. Damn, this is crazy. I would love to hear y'all comments, y'all opinions on what y'all think about all these three topics that we talked about today. But let me get off this, John, because it's 2:07 in the morning. We're in North Philadelphia, 41 degrees, man. I'm about to go, get in the bed, fall back, either watch a movie or choose live. Either or. However it goes, but shit, I know I'm going to end up with these videos. So the next time, let's show you Rachel. I have a problem. If I knew then what I know now, sometimes I wonder, would I be the same or would I be different? A shorty still believes in fairy tales and imagination that lasts forever. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of times, fix my mistakes, will things change? Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. I wake up in the morning feeling lost and alone, wondering if life's worth living or if I should grab the throne. The weight of the world on my shoulders is hard to bear. I see no change, it's like nobody cares. I look in the mirror, see a stranger staring back, lost in the world that's spinning off track. I ask myself, is this all there is, or should I give up and let the darkness win? I see no change, just the same old game. Wake up in the morning, I ask myself, is life worth living, or should I blast myself? I see no change, just the same old pain, but I know deep down, I gotta break these chains. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of time, fix my mistakes, will things change? Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. If I can go back in time, tell my younger self it's gonna be fine. Embrace the challenges, let your light shine. You'll grow and learn, just give it time. Hey young me, listen up, don't be afraid. Life's a journey, mistakes will be made. Chase your dreams, don't let them fade. Believe in yourself, you'll make the grade. Don't stress about what others say. Stay true to yourself every day. Love deeply, laugh often. Don't delay, cause in the end, it's how you play. Be kind to others along the way. Spread love and positivity each day. Don't worry about what they may say, cause your uniqueness is here to stay. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of times, fix my mistakes, but things change. Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. If I can meet my younger self, I tell her not to be afraid, that courage will be her wealth and bravery will never fade. Don't fear the challenges ahead, for you'll face them head on. Your inner strength will dawn. You'll grow up to be a warrior, standing tall, unafraid and strong. A parent, a role model, and inspired, fighting for what's right all along. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of time, fix my mistakes, but things change. Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. Looking back on all the roads I've traveled, regrets and lessons learned along the way, but still holding on to hope and faith that with God's grace, a brighter day will come our way. I see no change at all. I'm stuck in this cycle, feeling so small. I ask myself, is this all there is, or should I just end it all with a final kiss? I try to stay strong, but it's getting harder each day. The pain and the struggle won't seem to go away. I'm tired of the lies, tired of the deceit. I see no change, just defeat after defeat. I wake up in the morning feeling lost and alone, wondering if life's worth living or if I should grab the throne. The weight of the world on my shoulders is hard to bear. I see no change, it's like nobody cares. Deep down I know I must fight, I won't let the darkness consume me. I'll shine my light, I'll rise above the pain, I'll break free from these chains. I'll find my purpose and I'll make a change. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of times, fix my mistakes, but things change. Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. Sometimes in life we make so many mistakes, and we think that when we fall, we're not able to get up. We listen to those that, talk in our ear, tell us that they, are there for us. And at the end of the day, what's crazy? A friend ain't nothing but $1 in your pocket. Family is what you make of it. Family is not who you're born into. Alright? So we need to pick ourselves up and do what we gotta do. Life is not for you to sit around and wait for Superman to come and save you. Only you can save yourself.
Just like that.
They don't talk about us, only when there's a crime. Would you believe me if I was to tell you that in this world, with or without money, we're all rich, even the poor? The problem is those that say that I'm reaching out to give a hand and stay they leeching hands is itching, ready to see you missing. Well, I think I went to write. Something inside me told me I can freestyle or I can rap. I can go with a rhythm that can make you dance. Tell you what I see on a daily, tell you everything's okay just to avoid dilemma. Or I can simply bring you something positive to the table and warn you of the ongoing problems that we're having. Instead, I have to reach out to my conscience once again as I watch the crime and the violence rise and the kids lose their innocence. Now the concept of forming a home day by day loses its essence. They don't want to hear that. I can't keep my arms crossed in front of the system. If I don't do something, I'm also part of the problem. As guilty as the one that pulls the trigger, like the person in the crowd that hits the record button on their phone to expose a lie instead of the truth for clout. They need 1,000 views. The government doesn't have a solution. The problem started when we took God out break bread at the table.
I don't know how you wanna be rappers and lyricists can go on with life, living on an illusion with nothing good to write. Talking about killing someone, selling drugs with pride, until the scripts are flipped and it's someone you love dies.
Right?
This ain't solved by activating the National Guards and going behind bars. This is deeper, this is me and you. And they say as time passed by, we'll heal everything. Shit, you know these scars? I seen time flash by and never felt everything. Leaving me on standby, ready to kill everything. Alone in the mirror, looking at myself, say, girl, you're everything.
You don't need for anything, shorty.
So unless you walk a mile in my shoes, don't say anything. Just take a minute and listen so you can consume everything. Me and you are not the same, so make sure you look both ways when you cross me, and that's all.